The mainstream media and Donald Trump are reporting that he's set to be quote-unquote arrested on Tuesday or indicted for a crime that nobody seems to be able to explain. Trump is calling for his supporters to protest and quote, take our nation back, of course with no caution or warning, to avoid traps or setups like the last one that happened, in which he seems not even remotely concerned about, suggesting to his followers to keep an eye out for. Which makes me think this is a setup. I have the report, I have my opinion. Looks like the left wing has the red meat they've been waiting for years, and the right will have fundraising and a resurgence of energy and support. Let me know what you think. It's gonna be a good show. Starts now.
It's the Dream Rare Podcast. Welcome to the show. The way to get the news at the desk or on the road. Let's go. God is great and success in our control. The world is crazy, but we get better from obstacles.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's episode of Dream Rare Podcast. So the story is Trump says he's going to get arrested on Tuesday, and obviously the mainstream media is reporting on it. And that's what it is. So I have my opinion on the topic. I have the actual story, things that are just objectively true. And I want to start with this. First of all, if you have a friend that's a Democrat or you have a friend that's like a Rachel Maddow supporter, this is their dream. So, check on them, make sure they don't orgasm too hard that they pass out or something, because I think the left has been waiting for this moment. They're like every day, instead of like an advent calendar or whatever with chocolate in it for Christmas, they just had like a Trump calendar, like, is he arrested? No, is he arrested? And, they might be like orgasming to a point that's just not healthy. So check on your left-wing friends. They might be super excited today. With that being said, I'm trying to figure out what he's getting charged for. I'm looking at CNN, Politico, not because I fully trust them, just because I'm like, all right, they'll say what the charge is. And it seems like no one's really saying what the charge even is. So we're not going to find out till Tuesday what it actually is. So how much of an opinion can you really have besides the fact of the obvious that they're overstepping their boundaries on Trump? Before I read you his True Social tweet, this was my first initial opinion reaction to it that I said yesterday. Yeah, I said Donald Trump getting fake arrested is going to be perfect fake fight for both sides. The left gets the image they've been waiting for to feed their drooling base. Trump gets massive fundraising, energized base, and another victim narrative to drag out for years. Win-win. So I bet you left-wing and right-wing media is going to have record numbers in the next week. It's going to be a big reporting. The left gets exactly what they want, maybe a picture of Trump and a mugshot to show their fans. They could put it in history books and try to say Trump was Hitler or whatever they're going to do, which obviously isn't true. And then also the right really benefits. Even Elon said, this is going to reelect Donald Trump in 2024. This isn't, if he doesn't go to jail, which he's probably not, these charges, in my view, I can't really say what they are because no one's saying, but they're probably not going to stick. So what does it really do? It creates fundraising for the left, fundraising for the right, a victim narrative for Trump for the next 2 years, an energized base, and kind of another narrative outside of like, what did you really do in 4 years? Now it's like, oh, you're the victim again, and like, we got to vote for you. So I kind of see it as that. Let me read Trump's True Social tweets because I want to get right to the source. Should I read it in Trump's voice or my voice? I don't know. I don't want to offend people, but it's hard to read something not in Trump's voice. I'm going to semi-do it in Trump's voice because when I do it normally, how do you read a Trump statement without the Trump? It doesn't hit hard. So if you could see, it's in all capitals. He's typing in all capitals. I don't know if I should yell it or just say it normally, but he says, our nation is now third world and dying. The American dream is dead. The radical left anarchists have stolen. He spelled stolen wrong. That's okay. 2 L's. That's a code, right? Is it a code when Trump makes a mistake? He spells wrong. It's like, oh, the other L's for linguini. Look in your linguini. There's going to be the QAnon shaman in your linguini this morning. I don't know. The radical left anarchists have stolen our presidential election, and with it, the heart of our country. Our country. So he said our twice. American patriots are being arrested and held in captivity like animals, while criminals and leftist thugs are able to roam the streets, killing and burning with no retribution. Millions are flooding through our open borders. He spelled borders wrong. Boarders. Almost looks like a kindergartner wrote this. It's okay. Many from prisons and mental institutions. Crime and inflation are destroying our very way of life. Now illegal leaks from a corrupt and highly political Manhattan District Attorney's Office, which has allowed new records to be set in violent crime and whose leader is funded by George Soros, indicate that, with no crime being able to be proven and based on an old and fully debunked by a number of prosecutors fairy tale, the far and away leading Republican candidate and former president of the United States of America, me, will be arrested on Tuesday of next week. Protest. Take our nation back. I don't care about spelling errors, but I just noticed so many. There were like multiple errors in that. That's okay. We all make mistakes. It's funny when he mentions George Soros because they always try to be like, oh my gosh, that's so anti-Semitic. Anytime anyone says George Soros, it's like George Soros funds a lot of things and changes the course of America and the world. That's just what he does, right? He funds elections, district attorneys, etc. And then when you say that he's doing that, you know, it's like anti-Semitic or something. Like you're not allowed to talk about George Soros. That's what they try to say. Anyway, here's what I'll say. I feel like this is a setup because if I was Trump or you were Trump or anybody was Trump after January 6th, right, which was like in many ways a setup, even if you're going to tell people to protest, like, hey, peacefully protest, but watch out for Democrats because Democrats are going to try to set you up. Also, try to be smart. Don't fall for a trap. There's going to be traps. In my view, Democrats want people to do something stupid because it benefits them. When they can make January 6th look like 9/11, even though everyone knows it wasn't, you know, now it's this 2-year escapade and it makes them look good and they get to shut down the Congress and, you know, they get to use that as an advantage. So any sensible leader, even if you're telling people to go out in the streets and protest, you would think that they'd be like, but watch out for setups. Watch out for the left tricking you. Also, you're responsible for your own actions. Don't do anything stupid. Don't overstep the boundaries. You get what I'm saying? He doesn't say that. He's just yelling in all caps saying, take our nation back. Someone said Anomaly's getting fat. Damn, it's like that now? You're just going to call me fat in the middle of my live stream? Cold world. You know, the banks just scammed everybody, but nobody's going to talk about that. Both parties just scammed everyone in 2020, but nobody's going to talk about that. It's like this revolving door narrative where they always have something where it's like, look, now we're going to talk about this for a year. The left is going to say, orange man bad, orange man bad. He did the thing, the crime. I don't know what crime orange man bad committed, but bad orange man bad man. Rachel Maddow girl tells me that orange man bad. And that's going to be the left for the next 2 years. They're like, you know, they just got what they wanted, a picture of Trump getting fingerprinted or something in handcuffs. The right, you know, everybody was kind of starting to scrutinize, like, why is he selling vaccines so much? Like, who would be better, him or DeSantis? Like, I don't know. There's like real conversation having in the Republican Party. Like, where are we going? You know, how should you campaign? Should you bash him or should you tell us that you're going to do a better job this time? Now the right has, in my opinion, if Trump doesn't go to jail, which I don't think he will, if Trump can still run for office, which I think he can, you know, now the right has fundraising, energizing, and this victim narrative for Trump. So nobody's going to really question what Republicans didn't do. Now it's all going to be like victim versus hero sort of thing. And also I find the timing of it very interesting. Trump just got his YouTube back. Trump just got his Facebook back. Trump just got all his social media back. He had Twitter, but they just gave him his YouTube and his Facebook back. And he started he started posting. And the first thing he's going to post, I'm not saying he posted this on Facebook. He posted this on True Social, but he's telling people to take our nation back and protest. But no word of being like, try to be smart about it this time, because last time you got in trouble. You got set up by the feds. He's not going to include that in his statement, just like right on back on social media. Hey, Patriots, take our nation back. How are we going to take our nation back? The reason I don't trust this stuff, it's giving me January 6th vibes where Trump's like, Moderna's amazing, go protest. Moderna's amazing, meet me at the Capitol. Moderna, I'm Grandpa Moderna, but meet me at the Capitol. Everyone's like, are you coming? I'm like, no, I don't trust it. But whatever. This is just my intuition. You don't have to agree with me. I don't care. With this type of stuff, it's like, in my opinion, where was this take our nation back energy during 15 days to slow the spread? Where was the take our nation back energy when you were printing trillions of dollars? Where was the take our nation back energy in 2020 from March to November? In my opinion, America got stolen in March of 2020. I think both parties stole our country and it's never been the same since that moment. And it was bipartisan. And in my opinion, the election doesn't even matter that much if both parties are going to lock us down. What does it mean to vote for a conservative if they're also going to lock you in your house on March 2020? It doesn't matter as much. To me, that's when the country got stolen. So where was that take our nation back energy then? I didn't see it. This is just how I see the situation. It's a win-win for both sides. CNN gets ratings, right-wing media gets ratings, Trump gets energy, Trump gets a base, Trump gets a narrative now that he gets to play the victim again and he doesn't have to actually face what he did and didn't do. And, you know, the meatball DeSantis stuff wasn't really working that well. So now he gets to play this like outsider view again. The left gets the mugshot that they always wanted. And both parties cash out, but it doesn't address the banking situation. It doesn't address the vaccine situation. It doesn't address really anything. And I'm not saying that he's meaning to do this. I have no idea. I'm sure they're really trying to arrest him to some extent, but at this point, I really just don't trust it. I just don't. It's another thing that's going to just run people in circles for a year. Someone said, what's our side then? I'm just going to walk you through what really happened in 2020. Like when I'm talking, and this actually happened before 2020. Let me go back to 2019 really quick. So I'm with quote unquote influencers, right? People who do like media as well, my friends at the time. And it was 2019, and I noticed Republicans were passing these sneaky speech laws and sneaky anti-protest laws under the guise of anti-Semitism. I don't hate anybody, but I believe in the First Amendment. So I started bringing this up in conservative circles. I started to, there's a reason I'm going back here, okay? We're gonna move to where we're at now. I said in 2019, I said, it's kind of weird that Republicans are doing all this like money printing, and it's kind of weird that they're like selling out the First Amendment. And people told me, this is what people would tell me. They said, just wait till the election. It was basically like, anomaly, I get what you're saying. You're not wrong. You're right. The Republican Party is selling out our free speech, and nobody knows it because we won't report on it. But just wait till the election, because we got to win the election. It's not about the First Amendment. It's not about bipartisan corruption. It's about winning the election. I was like, that doesn't make sense to me. But okay, now March happens, right? The country locks down. Trump's on stage with Fauci and Birx, 15 days to slow the spread, right? Both parties are in on it. Maybe there's one or two governors that rejected it. Everybody else was in on it. Democrats, Republicans, Trump, Fauci, Birx, McConnell, Pelosi, they're all in on it, right? And then April happens. And then May happens, right? And then I say to people, I say, this is crazy. Nobody really wants to talk about it. Everybody's making excuses. And I'm like, this is nuts. Both parties are scamming us. And what did people tell me? They said, anomaly, just wait till November. Just wait till November, because November's going to change it, because Trump's going to win, and then he's going to have more freedom to do what he wants, because he just can't do that right now because he's got to win an election. So I'm like, that doesn't make sense. So they told me to wait from November till the election. They told me to wait from March till May. Now they're telling me to wait till November because I guess bipartisan corruption doesn't matter because it's election year and everybody just wants to win. So they don't want to actually like protest or stand up to both sides of government. They just want to wait. Okay, I wait till November. What happens in November? I say to people, I get what happened in the election, but I'm like, are we going to actually look at like what's going on in this country right now? We're under medical tyranny. There's forced masking on all the airplanes. Like, I want to say, essentially, we got like enslaved to some extent. Some people would say that's an overstatement. I don't think so. I'm being treated like a slave, a prisoner, a serf in my own country. I can't even travel to 50 states, and everybody just keeps telling me to wait. It doesn't matter now because Trump versus Biden. And I'm like, but Trump's in office now, and it's here now. Why would it matter if he won? I voted for Trump. I don't want Biden. I voted for Trump. I wanted Trump to win. Still, after November, I still wanted him to win. I'm just saying, Why are we waiting when Trump's in office now and this is happening now? If he wins, how is it going to change? It doesn't even make sense. He's here now. It's not Biden here. It's Trump. So then people told me to wait till January. They said, Anomaly, just wait. Medical tyranny doesn't really matter. We got to talk about the election. Okay, and then I start reading Trump's Twitter, and it's like Moderna, and I stopped trusting the guy. At that point, people asked when I switched up. I didn't switch up. That's when my trust for Trump really went way lower. It was from November to January because he just sold the vaccine way harder than he ever did. He just tweeted it like every other day, and I'm like, this is getting weird. Anyway, people tell me, no, you don't understand. January 6th, that's the day, Anomaly. That's when Mike Pence is going to overturn. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. But if you want to believe that, whatever. This is a free country. January 6th, everybody saw it. I'm not going to say everybody went, but people went. And then after they went, they're like, oh, it was a huge setup. Oh, yeah, the Fed set us up or Antifa set us up. It's like, it wasn't just Antifa. I'm sure there were Antifa there, but there were also Trump supporters there. So it's like it was a setup, but you went to it, or you got set up, but you're not. Okay, I get it. I understand. Like, yeah, that seemed like a trap. They lied. They let you in the building. They overcharged you. I stand with the prisoners who don't deserve to be in jail. I probably talked about it more than Trump did. Anyway, so then I'm like, all right, it's February now. That sucks. I didn't want that to happen. Obviously, that was terrible as far as like the left using it against us. So now are we going to talk about the medical tyranny? And people told me, no, Anomaly, wait till, I don't know, when was Mike Lindell's cyber symposium? When was that? Like May, August? Wait till August, Anomaly. Mike Lindell's going to blow the lid off this thing. So you told me to wait in 2019 till the election because you didn't want to talk about free speech. You told me to wait in March till November. You told me to wait in November to January. You told me in January, now I have to wait till August. And then now people think if Trump gets back into office, it's all going to be different. The point that I'm getting is, do you not see the trap? There's always a narrative to not look at what's going on. The banks just scammed everybody, but neither side's going to talk about the banks now because the cat with the laser pointer, blink, now they're going to tell you to talk about Trump getting arrested for the next 2 years. Liberals will talk about it and conservatives will talk about it. That's the new arena of conversation. He's innocent. He's guilty. He's a victim. He's a villain. He's a hero. Okay, does that address the bipartisan corruption of 2020? Does that address the banking situation? Does that address the Epstein, client list that never came out, that God knows how many Democrats and Republicans are on it? Does this get anywhere? It leads us right back to the two 80-year-old vaccine salesmen, Trump versus Biden in 2020. And in my opinion, it helps Trump. If he doesn't go to jail and he doesn't get kicked out of the election, this helps him. Massive fundraising, massive boost. And here's what I want to say. I just don't think he's going to say, take our nation back. Like, he's trying to rile people up in all caps. Tim Pool saying, war, everyday civil war for Tim Pool. Watch my show, guys. Watch my show. Click, give me super chats. War. Is it really war, Tim, or are you just raking thousands of dollars of super chats and then sitting on your ass and skateboarding? It's not a war. It's a war in your head because you just tell people it's war because you rile people up for clicks the same way left and right-wing media do on television. Listen, I'm not trying to hate on Tim Pool right now, but every day is war for Tim. War. He's tweeting war. Trump's tweeting in all caps. Take our nation back. Patriots, protest. Are you going to not say something about what happened? Are you not going to be like, hey, Patriots, protest for me, but watch out because they're going to try to set you up again. Watch out. They're going to try to lead you somewhere. So be smart. Don't just flail your arms. And these people are telling you to flail your arms. Doesn't make sense to me. We'll see what happens. We'll see if the charges stick. I don't even know what they are, but my gut is telling me Trump is probably not guilty, and they're probably framing him to some extent, like everybody obviously knows. We'll see what happens, though. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. To me, this is just another energy suck, so nobody gets to the bottom of the barrel. And I'm not saying Trump is necessarily in on this one because I don't know. I'm not going to say things I can't prove, and a lot of this is my opinion. But what I will say is when he wins or when Biden wins, the corporations and the donors swarm, and they almost always get what they want. They got what they wanted in 2020. They got their vaccines. They got their lockdown. So voting for Trump in 2016 didn't stop the lockdown. I'm not blaming him. People don't get this because they think everything is just me hating. I'm just telling the truth. And people can get mad, but just listen. Did voting for Trump in 2016 and Trump winning the election, right? The election that's not winnable, he won in 2016. Did that stop the lockdown of 2020? No. Did that stop the forced masking on airplanes in 2020? No. Did that stop Operation Warp Speed? No. Did that stop the money printing that Republicans were in on in 2020? No. So was the election stolen in 2020, or is every election stolen because it doesn't matter who you vote for? Because even if your guy gets in, you don't get the results you wanted. Like, I'm thinking on a whole nother level. People are thinking on what Trump tells them. Trump chips, it's 2020. If it doesn't even matter if I vote for Trump in 2016, he gets in office as an outsider, but they still get their lockdown, they still get their vaccines, they still get their money printing scam, they still get their mass mail-in ballots because both parties shut their state down. Then when was the election really stolen? Every election stolen by the donor class, by the corporations, and by the people who control Trump and Biden. That's just the truth. People don't even think of that. Did voting for Trump and Trump winning in 2016, did that stop the lockdown of 2020? It didn't. It didn't stop any of that. So that's when the election was really taken from you, before 2020 even happened. And when it comes to all the mass mail-in ballots and the lockdown stuff, do Republicans take no accountability for playing into that stuff? Here's a crazy idea that I think a lot of voters don't even think about. Maybe if these people were who they said they were, when they got into power, they'd actually do something instead of governing like Karl Marx. You're in power and you're printing trillions of dollars. You're in power and you're funneling money to the vaccine companies. You're in power, but you're hiring all your enemies. Either you're the stupidest person alive or you're in on it. Either way, I'm over this fake narrative because it never gets to the bottom of the story. Here's a few things that are really important. Jeffrey Epstein. Everybody knows who Jeffrey Epstein was, right? Everybody thinks he was some sort of human trafficking, blackmail. You get it. You know who Jeffrey Epstein is. Who do you think Jeffrey Epstein was, right? Everybody has their slight opinion. It's all pretty much the same. But what I'm saying is everybody has like a different theory of exactly who Epstein was and who he was working for. But you know who Epstein was. When did Epstein get arrested? 2018, 2019? I don't know. Who was in office? Trump. Where did he go to prison? I forget, New York or something? I don't know. What happened to him? Who knows? Because no one cares. You know, it just mysteriously, the cameras failed. Under Joe Biden, right? No, that happened under Trump. I'm not saying it's Trump's fault. I'm just saying voting for Trump didn't do anything with the Epstein thing. It's not like Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton was in the White House and that it was Trump in the White House. Republicans had a lot of power. They don't care either, okay? So Epstein's a big root level thing. What's going on with him? Who's going to talk about that? Nobody? Everybody's going to talk about, okay. What about 2020? They printed, I don't know, $4, $5, $6 trillion or something. They locked everything down. They're wearing masks. Both parties are in on it. Is there ever going to be accountability for that? Probably not. You know, whatever. They just scammed the whole world and made a cash cow vaccine and both parties are bragging about it. But whatever. Let's just not talk about that because we got to follow Michael Lindell's Super Symposium or whatever. Okay, so there's a root level thing that's never going to happen. All right, the banking situation, right? That seems pretty big. I guess a bank can just like make bad You make bad investments, you're broke. They make bad investments, they just get bailed out by the federal government to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars, right? We're going to focus on that for a second, right? Oh, no, we're not, because now there's this new narrative between like Orange Man and Blue Man, and there's going to, and you know, it's always something. Even Russia collusion was like that. I'm not saying Trump is in on Russian collusion. I don't know. I think he was innocent and I was defending him, but it took time away from all of this stuff, right? 3 years of attacking Trump if you're left wing, defending Trump if you're right wing, or honestly, you don't even have to be right wing. Just a sensible person who knows that the media is full of trash. Trump seemed innocent, right? It's like, what are you talking about? He just won an election and you're trying to cheat and you don't want him to win. So you're just saying he colluded with Russia because you want to start a war with Russia. I get it. I defended Trump from 2016 to 2019, but that's a time suck. It's like, you know, Republicans aren't doing anything. They had the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They did nothing. Was it because of Paul Ryan or whatever? I mean, say what you want, but it's like, there's 3 years of your time. Now we're going to fight over the election. Now we're going to fight over the jail thing. This is, it's not only divide and conquer. It's just like a a media like cat laser pointer time suck where it's like, yeah, forget about Epstein, forget about the bank thing, forget about the fact that we both scammed you. This is the narrative. And that's why I don't play to their narratives. I understand elections are sketchy, but this is my narrative. I create my own narratives. I'm not following the laser pointer. Every election is stolen because the same donors, the same corporations, the same pharmaceutical companies, and the same billionaires lobby both sides. So, I'm not trying to be rude, but most people that are just programmed by Trump are just saying 2020 was taken. 2016 was also taken for you because you voted for Donald Trump. You won. And you still got Bill Barr, and you still got Christopher Wray, and you still got Mike Pompeo, and you still got Mitch McConnell's wife, and you still got John Bolton, and you still got Mark Milley, and you still got Fauci, and you still got Birx, and you still got a lockdown, and you still got Operation Warp Speed, and you still got socialism, and they still imploded the economy, and then they ran around wearing masks, and Ted Cruz and Trump even wore masks like it was cool. It never was. Your vote in 2016 got stolen from you because the guy you voted for didn't actually do what he said he was going to do, but he will this time. Just keep giving him money, Patriots. He will this time. He's screaming, take our nation back, protest, 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 as if the last time he did this, all his supporters didn't get arrested by the feds. All I'm saying, I'm not telling people not to protest, but if you're a responsible and careful leader, you'd be like, Patriots, protest for me. But be smart, please, because if you're not smart, you're going to set the movement back another 4 years because they're going to trick you. Democrats want you to go get arrested. Democrats want you to break a window. I'm not saying you can't peacefully protest. You have a right to peacefully protest. You have a right to be upset if you want to be. I'm just saying a sensible leader would tell you, watch out. Why are there bricks in the freaking, when left-wingers are protesting? Who's putting bricks there? It looks like a video game, like Time Warp. It just shows up. I'm just saying, it's thoughtful to be like, just watch, because the Democrats want that. I talked to James O'Keefe yesterday, and one thing he told me about Breitbart, he said, Breitbart told me I have to be almost perfect, and the left doesn't have to be perfect. And he said that Breitbart said, it's not fair. It's not fair that left-wing journalists can just lie all the time, and you have to be pretty much perfect. It's not fair, but life's not fair, and that's just the way it is. So if you're right-wing, you're not playing by the same rules. I'm not saying it's fair. It's not fair. It's not fair that I could do perfect journalism and I lose tens of thousands of dollars and I get social media's taken away from me. But when left-wing journalists lie and push people into lockdown and force vaccines on them, they get Pulitzer Prizes. That's not fair. It's not fair that my work is better than theirs, but I make less money and I face more persecution. It's not fair. But life isn't fair, and you don't see me complaining about it all the time. It just is what it is. This is the path I chose, and I'd rather be on this path than on the path of whatever these psychotic losers at Washington Post are doing. But that's how it is. So Trump knowing this, all I'm saying is when you're typing in all caps, it just seems like a setup to me. I'm just going to read it again and just go over things. Listen, and before I say this, thank you for the super chat, BBDC. Give me a second. I'm not saying that he's guilty. Trump, I believe, didn't do anything. I don't know what the charges are, so I can't even say, oh, this is what he didn't do. What are they even saying he did? I think the Democrats are lying. I think they just want red meat for their base, and I'll defend him against the persecution when it's false. All I'm saying is this just seems like another fake fight, another fake arrest, and it's perfect for both sides. You get fundraising, you get an energized base, you get to play the victim for 2 years on your way to president. You get the picture you've always been waiting for, and Rachel Maddow, people are going to poop their pants. They're so happy. Both sides win. This is another just year-long, show. But I want to just go over what he said and just ask questions about it, because he's typing in all caps, this is serious stuff. He says, our nation is now third world and dying. You were president for 4 years. I'm sorry. When Trump was president, the lockdowns happened. I'm not seeing this oh, you did. Okay. The American dream is dead. I would never say that. Sorry. I don't believe that. I'm not a pessimist. People say I'm a pessimist. The American dream is not dead. The American dream is not dead. If you're an entrepreneur, if you came from a foreign country, even if you're broke here or you're facing economic turmoil, the American dream isn't dead. It's still a great country to be in, and there's still a lot of opportunity. So right off the first two paragraphs, no, it's not dead. What type of leader says it's dead? Go protest for me, Patriots. The American dream's dead. Ah! he's such a goofy. It's not dead. The American dream is alive. Trump, you've been a billionaire for the last 50 years. America's a great place. You own massive things. You're not even going to go to prison. You're going to fingerprint yourself and go back to Mar-a-Lago. The American dream's dead? Bro, you live a coddled gold toilet life. It's so dead. The American dream's fine. I have 1/1000th of the money, if not less, than Trump has. It's okay. Okay? The dream's not dead. He said the radical left anarchists have stolen our presidential election and with it the heart of our country. American patriots are being arrested and held in captivity like animals while criminals and leftist thugs are allowed to roam the streets, killing and burning with no retribution. I hear you, but it's like, did you even care? Do you care about the January 6th people? Like, did you even say anything about it for 2 years until Ye said something? Now all of a sudden he's getting arrested. He cares about the January 6ers. Millions are flooding through our open borders, many from prisons and mental institutions. Crime and inflation are destroying our very way of life. I agree, but here's the thing, and I understand Republicans are better, but if you don't finish the wall, there's going to be holes in it, and people are going to get through the holes. And the Joe Biden administration makes it too easy, but if you want to make a wall that works, you got to fill the holes in. If you don't fill the holes in, let me build a fence 75% around your house and be like, look, it protects from criminals. Can't they just walk in that slit right there? Yeah, well then the wall only matters if you finish it. I'm not saying it's Joe Biden sucks. I'd vote for Trump over Biden. His policy's better, but the people are getting in through the holes in the wall that were never filled. Finish the wall next time. Use the military, whatever. If you can use the military for Operation Warp Speed, you can use the military to finish the wall. If you can declare an emergency for COVID, it's an emergency for COVID. We need to lock down and give money to Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. If you can do that BS, then why can't you declare an emergency to build a wall? I'm just not buying this fake false paradigm as if they weren't there for 4 years. Finish the wall. Crime and inflation are destroying our very way of life. Crime, I wouldn't say it's Trump's fault or Republicans' fault, but inflation is partly their fault. They printed $6 trillion in 2020. But remember, they don't want you to remember that everything was stolen. They have no responsibility for anything they did. Someone said holes in the wall. Yeah, there's holes in the wall. There's massive gaps in the wall. They didn't finish the wall. I'm not saying Biden's thing's their fault, but like walls don't work unless you finish them. You gotta, I don't know, declare an emergency. This is a national emergency. There's millions of people breaking through. Say they're declaring war on our country. Finish the damn wall. I mean, imagine having 90% of a wall around your house and thinking it's gonna protect you. I'm all for the wall. Just finish it. Finish it. You could declare an emergency for COVID. Declare an emergency for the wall. Build the wall, the full wall, not 90%. Because it's not going to work. I have a question with like Israel. Israel's wall is like brick wall, but it's like, does it matter when someone else gets into office? Like, do people break in? There's no gaps in the Israel wall. The Israel doesn't have gaps in their wall because they're not stupid like America. Like, you get what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be rude to America. I love America. I'm just saying, like, if a lefty gets into Israel, like, are people like going in the gaps of the wall? There are no gaps in their wall. They built a full wall in Israel. We don't have a full wall. Someone build a full wall or else it doesn't really matter. I'm not being rude. I just want the wall to get finished. I know they were trying to crowdfund it and stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm tripping. If every state can shut down, if Governor Abbott can 15 days to slow the spread with an emergency, why can't he declare an emergency to finish the damn wall? Oh, there's a gap in our wall. Build it, dude. Go wheel yourself down there, take a look at it, and build the damn wall. Oh, but we can't. It's overstepping our power. You have no problem overstepping your power for big pharma. You have no problem overstepping your power to invade a foreign country in Afghanistan. You have no problem stepping over the boundaries to do socialism for vaccine companies. You have no problem overstepping the Constitution to force masks on people like we're animals. Isn't it crazy that Republicans have no problem, towing the line of liberty when it comes to forced masking, 15 days to slow the spread, COVID emergencies, and like straight up commie BS, but they can't finish the wall? And I know people are going to get annoyed, but it's like, This is my energy. I'm not falling for the TPUSA Ted Cruz speech stick. When I'm at these events, I'm asking real questions. I'm doing real journalism. I'm not babying these people like doink, 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 doink. We just keep going from left to right. Boinkty, 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 boink. Oh, it's the left that did inflation. No, not you, right? Right? You weren't in on the inflation at all. It was just them, right? Oh, but this is, come on. These people need to be challenged a little bit. All right, I want to read the rest of his statement. He said, now illegal leaks from a corrupt and highly political Manhattan District Attorney's Office, which has allowed new records to be set in violent crime and whose leaders have been funded by George Soros, indicate that with no crime being able to be proven based on an old and fully debunked fairy tale, the far and away leading Republican candidate and former president of the United States of America will be arrested on Tuesday of next week. I have nothing to disagree with there. Nothing's wrong with that. I agree with him. I'm just like, what type of arrest is this going to be? Is he going to go to prison? If he goes to prison, yeah, that's crazy. But I almost feel like it's like they're putting ants in a little bucket and just trying to like shake us up and being like, ah, like trying to get us to do something like, oh, it's like, are you going to jail? Are they just fake indicting you so you go to court? You're going to beat it in court? Like, what is this? Either way, someone said it's a Greta level arrest. I don't think he's going to jail, and I don't think he's not going to be able to run. Like, I feel like they're just trying to like freak everyone out. And even he's like, I'm getting arrested. Protest, take our nation back. Patriots. People are like, oh my gosh, let's hit the streets. It's like, where are you going to go? Where do you want me to protest, Donald Trump? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to wear a horned hat and walk around Nancy Pelosi's office? What do you want? Where am I protesting? What do you want me to do? How arrested are you going to get? Are you going home that day to your golden mansion, or are they throwing you in prison? Because if they throw you in prison, that's freaking insane. But I see how this works. It's like this is such a win for the left in a way, because it's like someone said invest in horned hats now. Bro, is there a horned hat stock in the stock market? I'm a throw money in there, dude. It's gonna triple up. People are about to go to Amazon and buy horned hats. No, but is there a Viking stock or something on the NASDAQ? No, but jokes aside, the left, they've wanted this so bad. So they get their little like, and Trump's going to be like, and then they're going to put it in the history books and they're going to be like, listen, transgender boys and girls, gender doesn't exist. Non-binary boys and two-spirited girls and transsexual men and women alike, hear me now. I'm your history teacher. Donald Trump was Adolf Hitler. And then they're going to have a picture of Trump in his mugshot, He's going to be like, and they're going to be like telling the non-binary kids, like, the worst people in history were Tucker Carlson, Adolf Hitler, and Donald J. Trump. And then they have their picture of him to like show the little non-binary kids. And like, oh my gosh, that's the mugshot. That's when Trump got arrested. And it's like, I'm not saying Trump is. I'm just saying that's what a left-wing teacher is going to do in 50 years. They're going to use that mugshot to tell the kids, like, oh, that's the day the orange man got arrested. But did he even go, like, what was it? What was the charge? Did it stick? Did he beat it in court? Did it ever happen? So I feel like that's what they want. They want this screenshot to put in the history book so they could say Trump, orange man, was like the worst person ever, which everyone knows it's not really true how they're saying it. It benefits them because now they've told people for years he'd get arrested. Now everybody's going to tune in to like Don Lemon or whatever loser they have. And it's like, oh my gosh, he told me the truth. We really got him. We really, really got him. What? His tax returns? Did Trump had like an illegal, he threw too many dollars at the strip club or something. He used campaign monies to throw them at Stormy Daniels' horse face, or I don't know. Like, what's the charge? Is that what it is? We have proof now that Donald Trump called Stormy Daniels horse face and threw a $100 bill. He wadded it up and just chucked it at her face at a strip club or something. It's like, wow, that sounds like a huge felony. I mean, this is Nixon all over again. Are we right, Patriot? Like, what are they even trying to charge him on? They're not even saying. A misdemeanor for what, though? What did he do? Get spanked on a butt in a Russian hotel by Horseface or something? I don't know. It's like, what are you saying he did? Did he? I don't know. Is it going to stick? Probably not. But they got their picture and they got their narrative. So now they're going to get a bunch of money and fundraise off it. And then for the right, here's the thing though. In my opinion, it benefits Trump. If he doesn't go to jail and nothing happens, now that's the narrative. It's even with like what he's been doing recently. A super PAC that I read this article on the weekend, a super PAC that backs Trump that he's in on was trying to basically get DeSantis thrown out of the race for an ethics violation. So I was calling him Karen. I was calling him Karen J. Trump because he was like Karening out on DeSantis. I get he doesn't like DeSantis now, but it's like he was trying to get DeSantis thrown out of the race for an ethics violation. So it's like Trump's trying to snitch on DeSantis. He moves from New York to Florida officially. Because, I mean, he still has property in New York, but, you know, he did like the official move as a citizen from New York to Florida. He gets to Florida. He tries to snitch on the governor so he can't run. He's talking trash about the place he just moved. I'm not saying you can't criticize Florida and DeSantis, but it's like you just ran away from the Democrats trying to arrest you in New York to Florida because you know DeSantis won't go after you, and you start going after DeSantis crazy. And also, it's like he's talking about how great Charlie Crist is so great. Do you think if Charlie Crist was in charge instead of Ron DeSantis, do you think he wouldn't be turning you over to the Democrats in New York? You think he wouldn't be in on it too? It's like, to me, this is just how goofy the guy is. Like, all right, you run away from New York to Florida because you don't want to get persecuted. And then you start crapping on the Republican there, saying you wouldn't even mind if a Democrat won in Florida. I guarantee you, if Charlie Crist was in office, he'd be doing the same thing the New York Democrats are doing. Someone did a big super chat, or maybe not so big because I have no idea the currency. What is that, like Japanese yen or something? What do you throw? You throwing shekels at me? I can't see. Elise88 said, world have authoritarian personality disorder. Faith and obedient citizen job is to supervise the state and the decision makers and tell how we want to live, not told by the decision makers and us believing the state wants us to live. I hear you. I think nowadays, though, people are like captured by politicians and media. That's why, it's a euro? Hey, thank you for the euros, man. What is that, better than $1 nowadays? Thank you for the euro. Appreciate it. 50 euros, dude. I'm going to buy myself a giant croissant or something, some chocolate. Anyway, jokes aside, yeah, I mean, I think the left has been captured by the media. They don't think for themselves. I don't care if people disagree with me. Just think. I don't like when people are non-playable characters and they just say the same 4 dumb things on loop. Just think. Same with this, like with the right. I think a lot of people don't create their own narrative. You know, in my interview with James yesterday, we talked about this. He said, you got to create your own narrative sometimes because everybody's just following the story. It's about this. It's about Biden. It's about, and I understand that's just like what you do. It's like, okay, well, I wake up and you read the news or you watch a video. That's how it is. I understand. With that being said, I think people need to like create a narrative sometimes because people have turned into just non-playable characters, whether it's left wing or right wing. It's like so many people, I don't even care if you agree with Trump. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying they don't think, like if Trump says like poop your pants, I feel like millions of people would crap their pants immediately and be like, oh my God, there's a code in there. It's chocolate. I'd eat it. It's like, when I talk to people about 2020, they don't even say normal things sometimes. They just say like what he says. It's the same things on loop where they're like, it was stolen. Do the Republicans bear any responsibility for the fact that these things went south? No, everything's the victim. They bear no responsibility for it. Why? Because someone told you that? Who told you that? A politician selling vaccines harder than Bill Gates told you to say that, and you're going to just think that now without even questioning it? I create my own narrative. I can't tell you what this is. I mean, let me know in the comment section. Donald Trump says, I'm going to repeat, protest, take our nation back. Are you going to protest and take the nation back? What does that mean? To me, that sounds like he's trying to set his supporters up. I'm not. Protest and take our nation back? How do you want people to take the nation back? What donate to you, vote for you, run around in a horned hat and, get escorted by the police through the Capitol to go to jail for 4 years, even though you don't belong there? Like, what do you want people to do, Trump? What are you going to do? I'm just going to read comments. Let's see. Someone said very skeptical. Someone said he didn't safeguard the election and cries about it. Yeah, and a lot of things could have been avoided to some extent, but they weren't. But that's what, to me, this is what politics are. Like, do you think, this is just a question, do you think Democrats really want Roe? Like, do you think they really care about Roe versus Wade? Or do you think they like when Republicans do it so they could point at it? Sometimes I feel like they purposely never solve problems so they can run on it again. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we didn't solve it, but like, next time we will. And the Republicans are doing the abortion, and the left is letting the illegals through the hole in the wall that I didn't fill. You know, it's like, do they? I think some people want to solve the problem, but I think some politicians don't want the problem solved. That's why with this narrative, it's like, do they really want to arrest Trump? Do they really want to get rid of him, or do they just want to use him because they have nothing without him? The left has nothing. Without Trump, they have nothing. They have no narrative. They have no responsibility. Their cities are going to shit. If the Republicans ever disappeared or like weren't there, nobody would vote for the Democrats. They have no solutions. They're ruining every state and city they own. I mean, but Gavin Newsom still keeps winning elections. People still vote for these people because of the right. It's like, you know, they need the right in order to even judge. Who is Gavin Newsom? Well, he's not this, and he's not that, and he's not this. Yeah, but who is he though? He's not. He won't abort things, and he won't. You know, that's all they run on. They run on who they're not. They don't have their own identity. Gavin Newsom said he would fix homelessness in 2008. He still hasn't fixed it. He's made it worse. But he's not Trump, but he's not Republicans, but he's not January 6th, but he's not aborting, or he'll let you abort your baby. Like, you get what I'm saying? They define themselves by who they're not. They have no identity. And then sometimes on the right, it feels like the same thing. They're not like Kevin McCarthy, perfect example. He's tweeting libertarian Milton Friedman things. Like, he's not Milton Friedman. He prints more money than Karl Marx on acid. You know what I'm saying? But in his head, he's Milton Friedman, and when the Democrats are in office, he's going to be a libertarian. But when he gets in office, he's a socialist again. But next time, you know, it feels like neither side's really trying to fix the problem. It feels like they kind of fundraise off of the issue. And that's how I feel about this. This is a massive win for both sides. Massive fundraising, massive support. I think overall, if they don't throw Trump in jail and he could run again, this helps Trump. Even Elon says so. He's like, Trump's going to win in a landslide because of this. You know, this is only going to help him. That's what Elon said. He said, this is going to make Trump win in a landslide. Maybe that's the idea at this point. It's like, he's not going to talk about what didn't happen. He's not going to, but now he's the victim again. And now this is the new narrative. There, you know, you don't have to say, well, why'd you hire all these bad people? How come you didn't do it last time? Why did you turn into a vaccine salesman? Why'd you hire Mitch McConnell's wife? Why'd you hire Bill Barr? You know, who are you? Are you going to hire there's going to be no conversation like that. It's all going to be like, oh, but the left's trying to fight the right and he's going to fight the left. And it's like, it's this whole fake show again. It's like, maybe that's true. Or maybe this is what they're trying to do. Create this new narrative that it's like hero versus villain, left versus right, victim versus victor, and there's no conversation. My idea is asking him and DeSantis who their cabinet's going to be. That's my journalistic idea. It's like, who's your cabinet going to be? That tells me who Trump's going to be, and that tells me who's DeSantis is going to be. Who are you going to hire? Are you going to hire pharmacy lobbyists and Mitch McConnell's wife again? Or are you going to hire outsiders? DeSantis, are you going to hire Joseph Ladapo and outsiders like him? Or are you going to hire neocons? Like, who are you? But nobody's going to ask these people who they are because it's left versus right. It's jail versus not jail. Like, it's a false, someone said we're stuck in a false dichotomy. That's exactly it. Divide and conquer, false dichotomy. If you can keep people in an arena, it doesn't matter who wins. Like, okay, this is the narrative. You're going to fight over Russia collusion, but we don't really care because you're just going to waste time. You know, don't talk about the banks. Don't talk about Epstein. Don't talk about what happened in 2020. Don't talk about how both parties are corrupted. Don't talk about how the Republicans never stop printing money, but when Democrats are in, all of a sudden they're going to stop printing money this time, even though they were just in office 3 years ago and they didn't. They led to this inflation. They contributed to it, but they're not part of it because they're not in office now. But don't talk about that. Just talk about this for a year. And it doesn't matter what side you pick, whether you're this side or this side. He should go to jail. He shouldn't go to jail. Whatever it is, it's going to happen. So it's just like a time suck and another divisive thing. And to me, I don't know. Like, saying stuff like this, protest, take our nation back, just screaming in all capitals. To me, it just sounds like, hey, patriots, go get set up again by the deep state. You know, we're going to fight the deep state if you get set up by the deep state again. It's like, where do you want people to protest? What do you want them to do? What is protesting even going to do? What type of protest? Like what? In my view, I'm like, hey, if you guys go out and protest, in my opinion, watch out. Watch out, because Democrats are going to try to set you up. The same people who say Antifa, it was Antifa January 6th, are the same ones saying, oh, it was us, it was the Patriots. Was it the Patriots or was it Antifa? I'm sure it was a mixture, but it was mostly Patriots doing nonviolent stuff. That's what it was. But it's like, you can't be the victim and purposely do it at the same time. Which one was it? Yeah, I'm sure there were some leftists there, but also there were a lot of right-wingers there. Most people did nothing wrong. Some people did stupid crap. That's just the truth, you know? And if some people got set up, like the horned hat guy, it seemed like he got let in and they ran him around. I think the horned hat guy shouldn't be in prison. I think he's a political prisoner and they're just setting him up because he was like an image. You know what I'm saying? I think he got framed for the most part, you know, and they used him for thumbnails. With that being said, if you're going to protest again, are you not going to warn your base that might happen again? Are you not going to warn them, like, watch out for the trap, because Democrats want you to riot. Democrats want you to do something stupid. That's their favorite thing. They love a situation that they could frame as a white nationalist event that went awry and someone got hit by a car. They act like they don't like that so bad, because I'm sure they don't like some of the outcome, but for the most part, that's the greatest thing that could happen to them. They get fundraising. People like them. They get to point. So as a leader, shouldn't you say, look out for that, patriots. You have the right to protest. You have the right to speak freely. You have the right to do this, but look out, patriots, because they're going to try to frame you and they're going to try to set you up. That's what, but I don't think he's that type of leader. In my view, I think he would throw his supporters in a pit of fire. I think he would take 1,000 supporters, throw them in a pit of fire if it gave him 5 extra minutes to do something he wanted. That's my opinion. I don't think he actually cares. My evidence for that is watching what happened in 2020 and 2021, seeing what was going on and seeing how little he really cared about it. It was his narrative. It wasn't about the people. It wasn't about what people were going through. It was about his vaccine, his product. He's the best. It saved the world. You know, get it, but you have your freedom, but I'd get it because but you should protest for me because I'm selling vaccines, Moderna, but come to January 6th, but Moderna, but January 6th, but Moderna's a great vaccine. January 6th, Moderna, January 6th, Moderna. I'm like, who is this guy? It's not hitting home to me, but we'll see. Someone said, we are at war, dude. Don't you see that in all capitals? So I'm guessing you're one of those guys that gets really worked up over this. You're screaming in all capitals like Donald Trump. He's like, take our nation back. We're at war. Who are you at war with? Who are you at war with? Are you at war with going out in the street and getting arrested? Or what if your party's in on the war? Like, what if you're getting riled up over people who sold you out? I think Big Pharma is killing our nation. And Donald Trump took $1 million from Pfizer, hired a pharmacy lobbyist, sold vaccines harder than Bill Gates, and did one of the biggest scams in modern history. So am I supposed to not see that or something? Like, is that part of the war or no? That's not part of it, right? You don't care about that. I do. Who are you at? What's your solution? How are you going to win the war? Are you going to watch Tim Pool and scream in all caps and go in the streets or what? I'm just wondering. I'm not trying to be rude. I don't see it as a left versus right war because the people that claim to be on our side are always selling us out and not doing that much. So I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to read. Someone said, just look at the accidents and fires. Yeah, I hear that. Trump just followed his all caps post with a plea for donations on Truth Social. I'm telling you guys, this is going to be the biggest fundraiser that he's gotten all year. This is how politics work. Patriots, we're at war. We're at war. Donate to me. Please give me money. I need to raise as much money as possible off this. We're at war. I need money. Dude, I get it. How much money did he raise for the January 6th thing? For the election overturn or whatever? Hundreds of millions of dollars. Where did that money go? Does anybody even know? I don't think anybody even checks. How much did he raise? 100, 200 million or something? Something crazy. We got to win the election, Patriots, from November to January. How much of that money went to January 6th political prisoners who didn't, out of those hundreds of millions of dollars that people gave to Trump to fight the election, how much of that went to political prisoners? Zero, maybe? I don't know. You could look it up. No one cares. I mean, this is how politics work. And Trump is a politician now. It's fine. You use a crisis to raise money. What was the one? Charlottesville? Oh, Charlottesville, guys, the racists are back. Donate to Chuck Schumer. Oh, Charlottesville, the racists are going to take over our country or something. Donate to Act Blue, Republicans. Oh my God, George Floyd riots. Donate to Black Lives Matter. Oh my gosh, the racists are, I don't know, burn down neighborhoods or something. I don't really know what you're doing, but, donate to Kamala Harris's defense fund. This is how politics work. I'm getting arrested, patriots. Get in the streets. Protest for me. But first, donate at DonaldJTrump.com. But be pissed off. But make sure you give a $50 donation to Don Jr. And you always get those emails that are like, Patriots, this is directly to you. Anomaly, you are the Patriot. It's a 50% promo code. Don Jr. is calling you directly. You are the Patriot. It's not about, it's a generic email that they use codes to figure out your name. They're always like, it's right now. I need you out now to give me. I'm like, okay, dude, just stop texting me. I get it. I'll donate. Just leave me alone. But someone said, so what are the charges on Trump? Here's the interesting part, Lone Wolf. They're not saying. They're not telling us. I looked at CNN. I looked at Politico. I'm trying to find the charges. I'm like, CNN will tell me what the charges are. Not because they're trustworthy, but because they would be like, oh, we got them. No one's saying what the charges are. They're not even saying right now. Tuesday they'll have to say, but that's why I could tell you that Trump is probably innocent, right? I'm going to have Trump's back on this because I think he's being framed. But I can't tell you with certainty what it is because what's the charge? I have no idea. I think Trump's probably getting framed, but to me, it's it's a multi-side setup. It's another time suck, energy suck, money suck, but I don't even know what the charges are. When Mike from Jersey Shore went to prison, I don't know about that, but I got the situations back too. I don't know what he did, but I like him a little bit. My Italian side tells me to like him. Isn't it just a payment cover-up from Stormy Daniels? I don't know. Maybe. I guess Tuesday you'll know for sure. There's speculation now. It's a Fed case, somebody said. We'll see. They said him and his family took gifts of thousands of dollars. Who cares? What does that even mean? What type of gifts did he take? See, this is another false paradigm. It's what's really ruining America, in my opinion, is not the fact that Trump took $1,000 gift. From who? Who cares? Venmo Trump $1,000, whatever. But the real thing is lobbying. If they really cared, which we know they don't, they would be like, how much money did Barack Obama take from lobbyists? Tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars? How much money did Joe Biden take from lobbyists? Lobbying is essentially a bribe. Here's the money, do what we want. Every election is stolen because the lobbyists control Congress. The left, the right, Biden, Trump, Obama, they all do. There's a reason Trump fell short and hired bad people and sold vaccines. It's not because he's playing 3D chess. He got swallowed up just like Obama got swallowed up by the donors and by the political establishment who pay them off. That's the big scam. And it's not just Trump. It's Obama. It's Biden. It's all of them. It's most of Congress. But they won't talk about that. They're going to cause a year scene because Trump got a $1,000 gift or something. This is a false paradigm. We know. The left won't know because they're just they hate Trump too much. This is why Trump is so useful, in my view, to the establishment. He drives people nuts. The left lost their mind over Trump. They don't even care about lobbying. I could show a leftist that Biden got $100 million from a foreign country or $100 million from a corporation or whatever it is, total amount. And I could show him Joe Biden is sold out to this industry or this country. And they won't even care because they hate Donald Trump so much that they'd rather look at his taxes and find something from 10 years ago that's so petty and has nothing to do with corruption and nothing to do with the political establishment. And it's way smaller than any of this stuff that changes the course of humanity in our country. They've been brainwashed over Donald Trump. They hate him so much that they can't even think straight anymore. And it's ruined the left wing. Now they have nothing besides like, non-binary conversations and trans bathrooms discussions. There's nothing there. But then you go to the right, people are going to get caught up in this narrative too. A lot of people are like, they don't even think for themselves. Whatever Trump says, they'll say. If he says this, they say this. If they say this, they like DeSantis and they start hating DeSantis when Trump hates DeSantis. They said DeSantis is the best governor in the world. Trump says DeSantis bad, DeSantis bad. They didn't come to that conclusion on their own. They came to that conclusion exactly when he controls them. So it's like Trump is really the perfect person in politics because nobody can think straight. The left has lost their minds over Trump, and a lot of people on the right have lost their minds. Not everybody, but it's like they don't even create their own narratives. They can't even look past what he didn't do. It's all about the character of Trump. They've created a fake movie around Donald Trump. It's like hero versus villain. It's like Wakanda. It's white Wakanda. I'm so excited. I wanted to make a joke. I'm so excited for white Wakanda to come out. Because they're culturally appropriating every movie. I was talking about this with VBDC the other day, where it's like, the white MLK movie. Oh, James Bond is he's black now. It's like, it's fine. We're gonna do the MLK movie and the Malcolm X movie, and it's gonna be Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is Martin Luther King Jr. There's no problem with that, right? We're just switching races. I mean, it don't matter. We're just making movies out here. So, I think that should be the next Wakanda. It should be Wakanda 3, white Wakanda. And everybody should be white. And it's like this Wakanda, like this planet of like white people. And it should be starring like Robert Downey Jr., as I don't even know the characters. I've never seen it. But jokes aside, it's like Trump is white Wakanda. You know what I'm saying? They've made a whole fake Marvel plot around him where like the left thinks he's like a villain and the right thinks he's like a hero. You know what I'm saying? So every script is like villain versus hero. He's the villain. He's the innocent victim. What if the truth was in the middle? He's just like kind of doing the same thing, but maybe slightly different. He talks like an outsider, but he didn't really govern like one. But, I don't know. Someone tweeted his speech and he was like, we got to get rid of the neocon, the war. He's talking great. But the question is, I'm like, someone wrote the speech for him. So does he really believe this stuff or is he just reading a speech someone wrote for him? I don't know. Only time will tell. But it's like, this is the trap. I'm not even saying it's necessarily, I don't know how complicit he is on this whole thing. I know certain things, obviously, but it's just it's a fake movie. It's the perfect divide and conquer person, whether he's in on it or not. It's just the perfect thing. They can't think and they can't think. So let's just keep them there. They need this narrative. We don't need this narrative. They need this narrative. But this helps Trump. I don't think this hurts Trump. I think this helps him. Helps him raise money, helps him look like a victim, gives him a new outsider narrative. Because honestly, without this, him versus DeSantis, it was getting weird. Even a lot of his own supporters were like, dude, it's getting weird. Like, we don't even care if you like DeSantis or not, but like, it's just like, it's like a weird campaign thing that he was doing. It's just like, you meatball, Iran, you meatball. And like, okay, like, do you have any like substance or are we just in kindergarten? Like, Stormy Daniels has a horse face, Ron DeSantis is a meatball. It's like, bro, you got to get a new act. It's like a comedian, Comedians go on tour and they do the same jokes for 2 years. You got to switch your act, bro. You can't be doing the same 2016 act. But now he doesn't have to do that. Now he has a new act. It's like, they're persecuting me again. I got arrested. Donate to me. I'll text you and tell you all these things that I need you now for 50% off promo code MyPillow. And I'm the victim again. And everyone's going to be like, oh my God, the left's trying to arrest him, George Soros. It's like, yeah. And people are saying that George Soros endorsed DeSantis. That never happened. Watch the video. George Soros thinks DeSantis will beat Trump because he thinks he's like a more likely to win candidate. That's what he said. He didn't say, I'm funding DeSantis or I'm behind DeSantis. He's not. He just said he thinks Trump is going to lose the primary. That's what he said. And people are like, Soros endorsed DeSantis. No, he didn't. But There are mega donors in the GOP, but you never hear about the mega donors in the GOP because most of the people that you watch are probably paid or indirectly afraid of the GOP mega donors because they fund certain operations near them. I'm one of the only ones. I'm not the only one, and I didn't. Thank you, Keaton, for the super chat. The big mega donor before he passed away, now it's probably going to be his wife, but Sheldon Adelson. Sheldon Adelson is like the George Soros of the right wing. Have you ever heard of Sheldon Adelson? Do they talk about Sheldon Adelson? No. Why? Because George Soros funds the left, Sheldon Adelson funds the right. The right doesn't talk about Sheldon because that's where they get their money from. You get what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, George Soros, I think, is worse. He's definitely more harmful on a local level, in my opinion, because he's always funding like local elections and like putting in farther left people that are weak on crime. I'm not for it, but I'm just saying. Someone said, I'm so tired of him being such a crybaby. In my opinion, like as an energy, this is what I see. Like even when I'm reading this, I just see like it's all caps. He's spelling everything wrong. He's telling people to take our nation back. It's like here, have you ever gone to like a car dealership where like they have those things that are like, you ever seen those? They're like, hey, come to Jimmy's Car Shack. And they have those big like air balloons just like flailing in the wind. That feels like Trump's energy to me. He's like, Patriots, go there, donate to me, buy my NFT, Patriots, take our nation back, protest. And we're like, we're at war, promo code Timpool, we're at war. Bro, you're not at war. You're skating in your backyard. You're fine, bro. It's okay. And none of the, I'm not telling people that nothing bad's happening. I'm not like, America's going in the right direction. It's clearly not. America's clearly not going in the right direction. But if you don't address why it's not going in the right direction, it's not going to change. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's not going to change where America's going. Banking, pharma, donors, people that you're not allowed to talk about. There's certain conversations that are like, sucking both parties up. But the people at the party don't want to talk about it because they're in on it, so they just have to make these false paradigms. It's like politically advantageous to do a left versus right thing, and then they both make money. But they don't want to get to the root of the problem, because if you get to the root of the problem, a lot of them are in on it. Like with Jeffrey Epstein. How come, like, who was working with Jeffrey Epstein? Was it Bill Gates? Was it Trump? Hopefully not, but was it other Republicans that aren't interested? Was it left-wing celebrities? Obviously, why wasn't that a bigger thing? How come they didn't freak out about that? Guys, let's take our nation back. Epstein disappeared. Like there was no Epstein freak out. Like take our nation back. It was like, oh, Epstein, haha, what happened to him? I mean, he probably got Clintoned or something. La la la. Like, all right. Anyway, where were we, Patriots? Signing an omnibus bill. After Epstein disappeared or whatever, it's like they sign a big spending bill and then they're out of office and they're like, America's never going to be a socialist nation. I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm just saying, like, I don't see fighting over this stuff getting to the root of the problem. And then people think I'm hating. They're like, why are you talking about the past? Here's my strategy. 2017, they sign a spending bill. 2018, they sign a spending bill. In 2018, Trump said, I'll never sign another bill like that again, right? Showing signs of being an outsider. Does anybody remember that? The omnibus bill, the government shutdown, it seems like old ages. I never forget because I do too much research, so I remember. Trump said, I'll never sign another omnibus spending bill like this again. This was a scam. In 2019, he signed another one, and it was even worse than the last one, and he started bragging about it. So he went from, I'll never sign a spending bill like this again, fighting it, to selling it the next year. Then 2020, I don't need to tell you how much money they spent. So then now they're out of office, and now Kevin McCarthy and Donald Trump are saying, inflation's so bad, the left spends too much money. They just spent the money. This is why I don't engage in these fake fights. It's not because I don't vote for these losers. Yeah, these losers are better than these losers, but inflation comes from printing money. They also printed money every year. And in 2020, they printed way too much money. But now I'm supposed to believe that It's only the radical left that prints money. It's only the radical left that prints money. It's only the radical left that prints. It's like programming right-wingers to be like, oh yeah, when Republicans get back in office, they're going to stop the spending. Where is the evidence? When have they ever done that? Maybe Trump will get in office and things will be better in 2016. Maybe we won't end in a lockdown. Maybe they'll stop printing the money. I don't know. They didn't. So why should I think that they will? My strategy is to call him out and be like, you never do that. You know what I'm saying? You didn't do that. That's why I don't like this narrative now, because now it's a victim narrative again. Now when he's on stage with DeSantis, he doesn't have to talk about what he actually did and what he didn't do. It's like, I'm the victim, they're after me, blah, blah, blah. And then it's all like a little fake back and forth, you know? Someone said they're all in on it. Yeah, and it ends when people realize it, though. But narratives like this, it just rearranges, like, you know, here, I'll do my best impression of a Rachel Maddow. This is what Rachel Maddow viewers do, like, in the morning. They're like, oh my gosh, Trump, he finally got indicted. This is the moment I've been waiting for. And then she looks around, and there's like 1,000 cats around her. She's like, the cats all have different names, like Jessica, Jerry, Johnny, Jared, Jebediah, Susie, come here, cats, come on. And they all like surround her. Trump got arrested. And then she's just getting fat, just eating like, obsessive amounts of like plant-based burgers, I'm so good for my, and then like, are you really happy, Rachel Maddow viewer? Did that really make your life better that Trump got indicted? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, Rachel Maddow viewers are going nuts this morning. They're like, this is it. My life has purpose now. Donald Trump got arrested. And it's like, you look around and there's just like 1,000 cats like pissing all over the floor. And she's like, I'm still not happy. Maybe I was trying to live vicariously through Rachel Maddow because I hate myself and I thought I would be happy when Trump got arrested, but I'm actually not. It's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. They're going to be happy today, and then they're going to look around and their cats are going to be pissing all over the floor, and then they're going to realize, maybe this doesn't make my life better. Maybe it was all a dream. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe those right-wingers had a point. And then right wingers going to be like, war. Like where's the war? Where's the war? Is Tim Pool your general? Is he like Napoleon? He's like 4 foot tall, General Gremlin. War. Where's the war, Tim Pool? Where's the war? General Gremlin. Where? Aye, General Gremlin. Where's the beanie war? Let's get to the beanie bunker right now. There's a war, Patriots. There's a war, but there's only a war if you give me super chats. And there's only super chats if I make every day look crazy. And it's crazy. It's like, okay. Where's the beanie bunker, Tim Pool? Where's General Gremlin? Where's this war? Are you leading it? Or are you just sucking up super chats and skateboarding in your backyard looking like a lopsided, flubber from the Robin Williams movie? Can someone tell me where's the Trump protest going to be? What's it going to do? I'm just curious. Someone said you obviously don't listen to him. Every day, every week, war. He calls everything war. It's like, you all right, Tim? There's a war in his mind. There's a war in his soul. So he's uncomfortable because he has an internal war every day. So he externalizes it onto the world. Someone said he makes it. I'm not going to get into how much he makes, but yeah, he does well. I'm not mad. Dirk Jensen said, "You're an idiot, Anomaly." All right, Dirk. What is not stupid then? If I'm stupid, what is the solution? What is not stupid to you? What is like the right thing to do or say? I just want to know. Let me see. I'm just reading. Let me see. Mike said, "Anomaly, you sound like an idiot Let me see. Hold on. Anomaly. You sound like an idiot when you're grunting and flailing about it. I like your message, but well, it's supposed to be funny. So hopefully you laugh. Hopefully someone laughed. That part's supposed to be funny. That's not like it's not like I'm on the scene report. I'm not like on the scene reporting and I'm like, "Hey, this is Anomaly from CBS News." Anyway, there's a really important story here. This is a really serious story, and I gotta break you this news. Like it's not. It's supposed to be like a funny moment. I'm not trying to like. You get what I'm saying? It's not like I'm on the scene, just trying to. Anyway, someone said Anomaly's been super funny recently. Someone said I warned my friends and family not to go to the January 6th setup. Said John. I know what I didn't see right about that. It was Trump selling Moderna vaccines. I don't care if he says, I did Operation Warp Speed like one or two times. I could be like, yeah, I don't agree with that. I still think it was evil, but whatever. He just kept selling Moderna vaccines from November to January. He's like, it was like if you go back to his like Twitter, it was like, the election was stolen. Moderna's a great product. The election was stolen. I love Moderna. I rushed it. I did it. I rushed the FDA. I'm Mr. Moderna. Patriots, go to January 6th. Moderna's, he tweeted about Moderna like 7 times. So I started, if people recall, I used to call him Grandpa Moderna. I just started calling him Grandpa Moderna because I was like, he's Grandpa Moderna. He just keeps selling Moderna vaccines. So then everyone's like, are you going to January 6th? And I'm like, why would I go to a vaccine rally? I don't understand. Like I've called him a vaccine salesman since 2020. And then it ended up being like, in my opinion, a setup to a large extent. I don't know if it meant to be or who, like where things went wrong. I don't know. I haven't fully studied the day. But yeah, my intuition told me don't go to the vaccine sales rally. And I want to address something real quick too. I'm going to address it further in another live stream, but someone made like a little like smear meme of me and they were like, oh, Anomaly is it was like one of those like, I'm going to expose Anomaly and show his tweets. And I was laughing at it because I was like, everything I said was valid in it. I'm going to do it in full, not because I have to, but because I think it's funny. He did 4 things and he's like, look, Anomaly's pretending to be a Republican. Now he's not a Republican and now he's a Republican again. Like trying to say that I'm like a shapeshifter or something. So the first one was 2018. And it was a tweet of mine saying, you know, I'm voting all Republican and I'm voting for Republicans. This is true. I did that in 2018. I voted for all Republicans. But here's the thing. I actually wasn't registered to the Republican Party at the time. I voted for all Republicans, but I wasn't a registered Republican. And I told people that. So then the next one was like, oh, Anomaly says he's not Republican. That was kind of my shtick for a while because I thought it was good branding and it was true. It's like people know if they've watched me since 2017. I was like, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a registered Republican. I didn't even vote for it last election, but here's why I'm voting for it this election. That was my whole thing. It's true. And it worked. It was like that was like a real story. In 2020, I registered as a Republican. Around then. I forget exactly when, but I wasn't registered as a Republican. I am now. I'm a registered Republican now. That's a fact. And then in 2020, you know, he showed me at a Trump rally and I was like, hey, I'm at the rally. Like, I'm going to do reporting or whatever. And I'm smiling. And it's like, yeah, I voted for Trump in 2020. This is also known. I went to the rally. This is when lockdowns were happening. I was glad to be outside. Trump supporters are mostly awesome. I mean, great people there. And it was a fun time. I was personally, I'm not going to lie, I was hoping Trump had some tricks up his sleeve. I wasn't saying, oh my gosh, I didn't like what he did in 2020. I reported against a lot of his bullshit. I didn't just give him a red carpet. But around election time, I did fall off him for a month or two. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to fall off Trump forever and act like what he's doing now is great. But I do want him to win the election. So I voted for Trump. And I went to the rally. And I covered it. And I was hoping that Trump had some moments left. And I thought, you know, so it's like he was like, oh, you're a Republican now. You're not a Republican. Now you're a Republican. No, I was never a Republican registered until 2020. And I voted for Trump in 2020. But just because I voted for Trump doesn't mean I have to, like, am I not a Republican if I don't agree with everything he does? If Trump changes his tune from 2021 to 2023 and he runs around the country selling vaccines, am I not allowed to comment on it? Like, I have to see him the same as I did in 2019 and 2020. I didn't really change. He changed a lot. I changed certain things, but it's like it was just like a funny moment. I was like, that doesn't, your meme doesn't even make sense. Someone said be a cultist anomaly. Well, now I saw Bryson Gray retweet something where they're burning DeSantis flags. Like, and this is, I'll just give another example. You know, Bryson Gray's been like, yo, this is like a cult now. They're burning DeSantis flags because Trump doesn't like DeSantis or whatever. And, you know, I commented on it and I was like, yo, people are acting very odd. They're acting like NPCs and like less evolved versions of Chat GPT. And then someone comes in the comment section about me and Bryson and says, oh, I thought you believed in the First Amendment. I thought you believed in the right to burn flags. And it's like, this is what annoys me. I don't mind when people disagree. I don't mind when people challenge me. I don't like when people do straw mans and make up a whole thing I never said. That's when I block people on Twitter. I don't block people for disagreeing. I don't block people for being honest. I block people for lying. I don't have to, but I want to. I know, just for my own personal sanity. So I just say it's funny that people are burning DeSantis flags and it's goofy. And then people say, oh, so you're saying people shouldn't have the right to burn a flag. Where did I ever say that? That's when you get blocked. Not if you say, oh, I disagree with you. It's like suggesting I'm saying that it should be illegal to burn a Ron DeSantis flag. Where did I say that? Did I ever? So now I have to block you because you're just wasting my time. You're making up fake arguments and then arguing with yourself about things I never said. That's the number one thing I block people on Twitter. It's just annoying. Someone said, I've never registered to vote because it's immoral. I mean, I'm registered. I don't care if people do or not, but I am registered. I've always been very transparent. That's the thing. Some people maybe didn't follow me a long time ago, but some of my biggest videos are me saying I'm not a Republican when I wasn't. But I was like, I'm voting all Republican, but I'm not a registered Republican. At this point, times have changed. I'm not 28 anymore. I am a registered Republican, and I still think they're losers for the most part, but they're my losers. And, you know, they need to be challenged and not babied. And I see them doing this. And my job, in my opinion, as a taxpayer, a voter, a citizen, and a journalist, is to hold them accountable and call out their bullshit. It doesn't mean I'm a Democrat. It doesn't mean I'm lying about my registration. It just means I vote for these losers, but I'm not impressed. I don't see them as the victim. I think they're in on it. I did not vote for Paul Ryan or Mitt Romney. I want to say I never voted. Maybe I voted for Obama one time, but most likely I never voted. I don't think I voted for him at all. But I wasn't a Republican before, and I wasn't a Democrat. I registered as a Democrat to vote for Bernie Sanders against Hillary Clinton. So I was probably a registered Democrat for 3 years or 4 years. And then I either changed it to independent, then Republican, or just changed it to Republican. I don't know. Someone said Tim Pool's 6 feet tall. Well, he'll make a great general then. Where is Tim Pool's war? He's always yelling war every week. War. I'm just wondering where it is. Where is it? Is it at a park? Is Tim the leader? Is he going to wear a helmet? Is he going to wear a beanie? Is he going to wear a steel mesh beanie like a, medieval warrior? I'm just curious because he keeps yelling war. So am I wrong? Am I being rude? Am I being judgy? Where is this war that Tim Pool's fighting? I'm just wondering. And is his beanie going to be mesh or cotton? Because I would prefer a mesh one. A mesh metal would make more sense. Someone said, now you guys are arguing over Israel. My stance on America and Israel is this. I've been very clear about it. I'm American, okay? I don't have dual loyalty. I have loyalty to America. I don't have loyalty to Italy, even though I'm Italian. I don't have loyalty to Poland, even though I'm Polish. My loyalty lies to America. I don't have dual loyalty, and I'm not more loyal to another country than America. I'm not. America is all I have. It's all I've ever known. It's what I am. A lot of people have dual loyalty or more loyalty to Israel. It's just true, and it's worth talking about. And when they pass speech laws and protest laws against it, it doesn't mean I hate Israelis, and it doesn't mean I'm anti-Semitic. It just means I actually believe in the First Amendment. So that's really where I take it. It gets misconstrued. People think I hate this or I hate that or whatever. I just don't have dual loyalty. I have singular loyalty to America. And I think, if you serve in American politics, you should have more loyalty to America than you should to Israel, China, Saudi Arabia, anywhere. You shouldn't serve American government without loyalty to your country. And the thing with Israel is they have a law to make sure of that. They don't allow somebody to have dual passports. If you're American and Israeli and you serve in the Knesset, you have to get rid of your American passport. If you're Russian and Israeli and you serve in the Knesset in Israel, you have to get rid of your Russian. They actually make you get rid of your passport in order to serve Israel. I think that's a smart rule. America doesn't do that. We have hundreds of congressmen and senators and, lawmakers, hundreds that have dual citizenship, and many of them have dual loyalty or more loyalty to a foreign country than they do America. I don't agree with that. And that's an unpopular opinion because the Republican Party has dual loyalty, if not more loyalty to another country, and they're sold out to the donor class. That's considered hate speech to some, but to me, it's reality. And I would say I'm one of the only influencers with a large following that says that. Pretty much everybody else is sold out or, half in, half out, or they just don't want to say it because they don't want to lose opportunities. I happen to be a very rare breed of I don't really give a shit. Nothing I said was hateful. I'm not apologizing unless I'm wrong. And I don't think liking America more than another country is hate speech. I think it's basic American, patriotism. I don't know. It doesn't mean I hate. I don't hate anyone else. So no one can really frame me that way because it's pretty clear. If I did, I would just let you know. Why would I hate other countries? Why would I hate other people? It doesn't make sense to me. I'm not insecure. I don't look at other countries and feel like jealousy or envy. So, there's pros and cons to everywhere, and God is great, and America's a cool place. It could be better, but it is what it is. Someone said, did you hear Ian on Timcast call Tim out for smiling when talking about the impending zombie apocalypse? Tim started sputtering, got exposed. No, I don't really watch Tim. I know a lot of people hate watch him and stuff. Like a lot of his audience hates him, but they watch him. I don't do that. I haven't watched in months. I'll watch if Ye is on or somebody interesting, but I don't watch. And it is what it is. He's a good businessman. Tim is a great businessman. He's got a great business model. He's better than a lot of left-wing media. I just think he yells war all the time. So I just want to know where the war that Tim Pool's leading is. Because, he's got a great business model. I'm just wondering where the war is. Because he keeps yelling war, Someone said Anomaly should run for office. I want to do media, even talking to James, O'Keefe, by the way, I want to let people know, just because I have extra time, James, I had messaged him and I said, James, I would love to interview you, talk about whatever you're doing. And he hit me back and was like, tomorrow, which was yesterday, but he didn't really give me a time or anything. So I thought maybe it would fall through. So yesterday, if you haven't seen that interview, check it out after. I said, do you still want to do the interview or do you want to move it to a later date? And James said, in 2 minutes, let's do it in 2 minutes. And I was like, he's like, can you do it in 2 minutes? And I was like, yeah. So my hair was all messed. I mean, my hair's always kind of messed up, but it was super messed up yesterday because James was like 2 minutes and I was like, I can do it. So I didn't even get really a chance to ask. I mean, I asked questions I wanted to. It was very chill, but I didn't have any time to prepare really. It was super quick, which was fine. But in general, in that interview, I think what he was saying was everybody's chasing the ball. Sometimes you got to create your own narrative. And I think politics is one part of the equation, but I really think the media is more powerful than politics. So I don't think me running for office would actually really do that much. I mean, maybe, but I don't want to. I don't if the media controls the minds of the masses and the education system controls the minds of the kids and the music controls the culture, and that's what's leading people to the left and that's what's leading people towards degeneracy and stuff that's not good, that needs to be addressed. Running for office isn't actually going to change it. And here's something that I think that, isn't going to fix anything. Even with Trump, where this is where I will agree with people, where people say the deep state's so deep. Yeah, to the point where when I say I don't think Trump is going to fix it, it's not even necessarily a knock just to him. It's just the problem is this, and he's going here, and he didn't do it the first time. I don't believe, let me just sit back and he's going to fix it. He didn't fix it the first time. We ended in a lockdown in a forced masking hell zone. Like, he didn't stop that. Is it his fault? No, but he didn't stop it. So how do you stop it? Education, media. There's a whole movement now of like women staying at home and raising their kids. Like, to me, that's more powerful than politics. Like, if millions of people homeschool their kid and millions of people take this new traditional life, to me, that movement is more powerful than even the Republican Party. Like, that's gonna, in 30 years, that's gonna have a bigger impact than following like Nikki Haley and Charlie Kirk in circles. You know what I'm saying? Like, do what you want. I'm not knocking those people. I mean, Nikki Haley, in my opinion, sucks. Charlie's done some better stuff in some cases, but in general, it's like, I don't see it as like run for office. You got to do that. I think if we could change the media, the music industry, the culture, the education system, or just simply pull out, metaphorically, that's going to have more impact. And here's the thing with the world, like, you don't have to live in New York City. You don't have to live in LA. I know things are getting worse, but there's also a lot of space in America. And, it's worth thinking about, as far as where you want to be. I understand that things are getting crazier and things are boiling up. But personally, I see it this way. I don't think the Republican Party has the solution for the problems that are like crime and stuff. I don't think they actually have the solution. I vote for Republicans. I think they're tougher on crime. I think like a Rudy Giuliani could fix New York City or something because he's tough. So in one way, I vote for Republicans because I think they're better on crime. But a lot of problems with crime, I think, are things people don't want to talk about. And I think they're going to keep getting worse anyway. Like, for instance, a lot of the major crime cities are Democrat, all of them, but a lot of them are in Republican states. Why can't the Republican states fix it? Because there's a deeper issue to the crime situation than just politics, in my opinion. It's not just, well, a Democrat's there, because I could point to an area, that I know that's Democrat that has no crime. Why is there no crime in that Democrat area, but there is crime in that Democrat area? How come? What's the difference between those two? Well, you could say the amount of people, but you could look at Japan and there's like not that much crime there. Why is there not that much crime in Japan, even though there's more people than LA? Well, the number isn't what it is. The politics isn't necessarily what it is. Poverty, sure, that has something to do with it, but there's other poor places where people aren't just killing each other. So I think it's a cultural issue where, it's got to be deeper. Like, people got to stop buying into this idea of like murder music and, as much as I love hip hop music, I think like drill music and this new like murder gang music, it's really damaging. And if people embrace this as their culture, it's gonna keep being bad, and crime's gonna keep rising. And if like families keep splitting up, and now they're pushing more split up of families through LGBT stuff, and it's like it's not getting better. So even if a Republican took over the South Side of Chicago, could they fix it? If Republicans like took over New Orleans, could they get rid of crime? I mean, I don't know. It would be like a war situation because, how do you fix that? And this is why I don't, Republicans are annoying. Marjorie Taylor Greene is combining with Dan Crenshaw to wage war basically on the Mexican cartels. And it's like, if you could be so successful about the cartels, how come you can't fix crime in the cities? You get what I'm saying? If Dan Crenshaw and Marjorie Taylor Greene can successfully beat the cartels of Mexico, go to the South Side of Chicago and fix gang violence. Go to New Orleans and stop crime. Go to Houston or Dallas, or go to any major city, Atlanta, Los Angeles. Name a city. Chicago, St. Louis. Newark. Go there and get rid of crime. No, you can't. How the hell can you go to a foreign country and stop crime when you can't even do it in America? It doesn't make sense to me that the Republican Party does this. And now people are so brainwashed by it. I don't even know what narrative they're reading. Someone on Twitter the other day, I don't really care, but they're like, oh, I wouldn't be surprised if you were working with the drug cartels. I'm not working with the drug cartels. I don't work with cartels. I don't work with drug cartels. I don't do any drug things like that. But people are going to accuse me of working with cartels. Why? because now if I challenge Trump, people have been told that the cartels are running Katie Hobbs, and if you disagree with Trump, it's Carrie Lake, and it's like people are so hyped up on this stuff. Like, whatever. I'm not saying Katie Hobbs is your best friend, but it's like now I work with the cartels because I don't want to wage war. This is the same thing they said in not like, oh, if you don't want to start a war with Al Qaeda, then you must be Al Qaeda. This is the same shit they did in the 2000s, and now Republicans are doing it to me. It's the same thing. You must be a terrorist. Oh, what are you, ISIS? If you don't want to fight in Syria, yeah, no. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, that people aren't ISIS just because they don't want to wage war on Syria. That was the BS narrative that they did back then. But you know, I just think that's who the Republican Party is. Like, they can't even fix crime in America, but they want to go to Mexico and fix crime. Do you think Marjorie Taylor Greene and Dan Crenshaw could stop the crime in Chicago or New York or any Democrat city? No. It's not their business to be in a foreign country. It's more their business to be in a Democrat city than it is a foreign country. So show me that you could stop gang violence. Show me that you could stop drug sales. Show me that you could stop murder in our own cities. You know, no. Someone said if we really wanted to end the cartels, we would legalize all the drugs and make America free again. I don't know if that would work, but I mean, Big Pharma is a huge competitor. I think Big Pharma cartels are probably more of a threat. If you could show me that you could stop gang violence and drug violence in America, then maybe I would be like, okay, you could take that act up to a foreign country, you know, take that overseas. But they can't do that. But here's the thing. Nobody asks these questions. Has anybody asked Marjorie Taylor Greene, who, by the way, she follows me on Twitter. She only follows 300 people. I want her to come on the show. I'll be very nice. I'll be very, very respectful. But I want to know why, you know, you're doing this bill with Dan Crenshaw, right? If you could be so successful with a foreign gang and go to their country and essentially overstep your boundaries to wage war in a foreign country, why can't you do it in New Orleans? Why can't you do it in St. Louis? Because that's what it would look like to try to stop crime. I mean, these are war zones. You know, some of these cities in America are worse than cities in Baghdad or Iraq. Baghdad is a city, but you get what I'm saying. So if you could do that, go do it in an American city. These people are so fake. They can't fix America, but they want to wage war in Ukraine. They can't fix America, but they want to wage war in Mexico. They can't fix America, but they want to wage war on Syria. They can't fix homelessness here, but they'll give Ethiopia hundreds of millions of dollars to fix poverty. If you're so great to give money to Ethiopia and Israel and, you know, South America gets money, Mexico gets money, they give money to Ukraine, Zelensky gets money. If you got all this money to fix the economy all over the world, in Africa, in the Middle East, why can't you fix homelessness? And if you're the Republican Party and if you have money and power to overstep in foreign countries, then why don't you overstep in Democrat cities? Democrat cities are more your area than a foreign country is. You have the executive power to build to shut down for COVID, but you can't build a wall. You know, BLM rioters and random gang members are just terrorizing the cities for George Floyd, but you can't do anything. You're the president. Oh, I'm hiding in a bunker, but I'll do it next time, but I can't do it now. But I could go invade Libya, but I can't even defend our cities. Like, this is who the Republican parties are. And I'm not saying this to be edgy. It's just who they are. They don't do shit here. They print money, they act like socialists, they scam you like Democrats, and then when they're out of office, they have some new foreign war with Dan Crenshaw to wage on a gang in a foreign country, but they can't even fix the gangs here. You don't even need to go to Mexico to fight the cartels. Build a wall, fill in all the holes, patrol our waters, and enforce the law in America. If a cartel or gang member or drug dealer crosses the border, prosecute them, you know, but it's not our business to go to Mexico. I'm sorry. If you actually built the wall in full, they wouldn't be getting in so easy. And if they are, prosecute them. You know what I'm saying? Enforce the law. I like the law. It's not like I want anyone to come in all the time with drugs. No, enforce the law. I'm all for it. Maximum penalties for anybody breaking into our country. I think it should be a heavy, heavy fine to break into our country. Like, it's one thing if you're a citizen. It's another thing if you're not a citizen, like you're breaking in illegally to a country. It's insane that people get any sort of pass. You know, if I was in Italy or Japan or whatever as a legal, tourist, that's one thing. If I'm there illegally, like imagine if I broke into Mexico illegally without a passport, without getting let in, and I commit a crime, dude, you should go to jail forever, basically, or a long ass time. Like, it's not like you just were in Cabo and you commit a crime because you were on vacation legally. You're illegally there anyway. So, I mean, I'm for the full extent of the law. Like, if you're doing something illegal on top of something illegal, being there illegally, I don't even understand. Like, why do you need to go to Mexico to do something? Prosecute people that come here. And if they stay there, then they stay there. That's their business. There's crime in Mexico City. There's crime in St. Louis. Like, why you're not the mayor of Mexico City. You're an American politician. I'm tired of Dan Crenshaw and even MTG now acting like Dan Crenshaw Jr. If you could be so successful to fight cartels in Mexico, why not fight them in America? And also, why not fight gang violence? 99% of the crimes done in America isn't the cartel. First of all, Big Pharma is killing more people than anybody. But besides that cartel, gang violence in big cities and the crime rates and FBI statistics, I mean, they're there for your citing. You could see what's going on. They can't even fix that. That's the Republicans. They can't do anything. They just always have to play a game for fundraising. I'm going to impeach Joe Biden. Give me money. I'm going to invade Mexico. Give me money. I'm going to, it's like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Make it rain on these. No. Someone said you do not want to be held in a Mexican prison. I don't. No, I do not. I don't want to be held in any prison, but Mexican prison? Hell no. Hell no. I barely want to go to Mexico. I mean, I went there on a cruise, but I don't even get off at all the stops. I'm American. I'm not. Mexico's wild, but it's like, why do we think we're the world police? It's like South Park. I love America. I don't get this misconstrued. I'm not Mexican. I'm not a cartel. I'm none of that. I love America, but are we the world police? Should we go to Nigeria and join that fight? Should we go to Ethiopia? Should we go to South Africa and, fight their... We don't have the capacity to even fix our own problems. Why would we go around the world and start diving into their problems? Once they cross our border, it's our problem, for sure. But someone said, Anomaly, why do you hate illegals? I don't. I'm just saying if someone comes illegally and commits a crime, if I was in Mexico illegally and I committed a crime, I would not expect them to bend over backwards for me. And also, there's millions of people waiting illegally. So it's like if there's illegals breaking into the country every year versus millions every year, every country has the right to a border and a legal system. I don't hate. I've worked with illegals. I've done farm work with illegals. Okay, I don't look at them and say, "Oh, I hate you because of who you are." I do the work probably worse than them because they work harder than me. Just being honest. It's not hate. When have you heard me hate an illegal? Never. I'm just saying, if Italy has a border with another country and millions of people are coming in illegally, Italy has the right to secure their border. It doesn't mean they hate the people coming in. It just means there's a process, A lot of people have to get a visa and go through a process and be screened, not just run through a slit in a wall. There's no hate there. I'm going to read a few more comments, and I'm going to try to keep it under 2 hours. Let me see. Someone said you probably made more money than them. Probably not, honestly, for what I was doing. But I don't hate. I mean, I'm grateful and appreciative for everybody who contributes in some sort of way. It's just it's too much right now. It's just too much. And I don't know who you are or where you're from, and I don't really care because this is the truth either way. But it's a massive slap in the face to a citizen. That's when they say you have to wear a mask. You need to be vaccinated to get on an airplane today. You need to be vaccinated to go here. And then they let millions of illegals come in and they say, we don't even care. Or like homeless people are living on the street and they're just like rotting, their bodies are rotting. Yet when you're a tax-paying, law-abiding citizen, you're being treated like a slave by the federal government. So it's an extra slap in the face when they have the borders open. They're treating us like animals and slaves and prisoners. But somebody coming over illegally has more rights than Djokovic, a tennis player, because he's not vaccinated. You know, it's like they roll out the red carpet for illegals sometimes and treat them better than citizens. Doesn't mean I hate them. I'm certainly not envious. I'm just saying, like, you know, when millions of people are coming in illegally, do we just have to open up our borders and say, yeah, laws don't matter now, just whatever, you know, come in by the tens of millions, like whatever. No one does that. No one would allow that. No smart country would ever allow that. There's no hate there. Do some people hate? Yeah, I don't hate. Find me a video where I've been hateful towards illegal immigrants. Find me that. It doesn't exist. It's like when people say I hate Israel or I'm anti-Semitic. Find it. Go find the clip. It doesn't exist. You perceive it that way because I disagree with something that people want to agree with. I've never been hateful towards Israelis. I'm American, though. Just like they're Israeli, they serve the Israeli military. I'm American. And there's a lot of Americans that like Israel more than America, and they have no loyalty to America. And they cry anti-Semitism when you point it out. I'm not being hateful. That's just a fact. Same with illegals. I don't hate illegals, but I'm not just opening here. Millions of people come in every year. That's fine. It's not fine. It doesn't work that way. So it's not hateful. It's just the reality of the American system. And the numbers are too high. The system is too weak. And I stand by, if you commit like a serious crime in a country that you're not even here legally, first of all, I don't go to any country illegally. But if I did and I committed a crime while I was there illegally, I would not expect them to roll out the red carpet for me. It's like I'm already breaking the law to be here. I'm already breaking another law. You're like a double criminal. It's like, you know, country. When I go to a country as a law-abiding citizen, I try to follow the law. You know, I'm there legally, but I'm still trying to fit in. I'm not trying to freaking go to another country to be a dick. Like, so, you know, there are drug deals. There is stuff going on. Everything's not perfect. Not everyone's doing that, but you know, it's not America's job to just close their eyes and act like they're in a Dr. Seuss book. Like, there's good and bad people. You know what I'm saying? And it's this like this straw man sort of thing where people will then say like, oh, everyone here's good or everything is fine, and it's like not everything. You know, luckily I'm not a cop because it's a tough job, but like cops, they have to deal with this stuff. They can't live in the world of like, oh, it's all perfect and there's nothing going on. They see crazy crimes every day. They see the most psychotic crimes and they have to deal with it. It's easy to be an analyst. That's why I'm not back the blue. They're so great. They're amazing. But a lot of these liberal and even some, in my opinion, libertarian analysts, they couldn't last a single week in these cops' shoes. You know, if they moved to these neighborhoods where they're always crying about the cops in and started a bodega shop, the cops would not be their problem. The people who live in that neighborhood would be their problem, and they wouldn't be able to last a month in that neighborhood. So it's like, I'm just honest. It's like the police make mistakes. They could be corrupt. They could work for the state. But in a lot of these neighborhoods, the stuff that police have to deal with, and I'm not just talking about illegals, obviously, they deal with legal citizens, gangbangers, random people, whatever, crackheads. Like, it's a crazy job, and crazy crap happens. When you're not a cop, you don't have to deal with it. When I hear the sirens, I don't have to worry what's going on in my neighborhood because someone's taking care of it. You know, this is why people like the police. Like in general, there's probably crazy crap happening within a 20-mile vicinity of me all the time. I don't have to deal with it though because I don't work for law enforcement. So when that happens, I just go about my day and don't think twice about it. But you know, for every great thing that's going on with great person and great worker, there's also some messed up stuff happening somewhere, and someone's dealing with it, whether it's border security, the police, someone, you know, even some of like the feds. Obviously, a lot of them just focus on conservatives and try to act like psychopaths, but I'm sure there are people working for the federal government that have to bust like coke deals and fentanyl deals and pedos, and you know, there are people who do real stuff. It's just at the high levels, I think the feds are just like way too focused on conservatives and, you know, shutting down journalism and bullshit and going after Trump. But, you know, that's not just like I say with illegals, not everybody's bad. I've never said that. It's the same with police and other people. It's like there are There is crazy stuff going on. I'm not naive like I used to be. When I was 26, it was like, oh, they're just going after people for drugs and everybody's innocent and the cops are so bad. And I'm not stupid anymore. I'm not naive. I get it. It's like there are bad people. There's robberies, there's thefts, there's gun. It's happening all the time everywhere. And it's too much. And, there needs to be a real leader at these cities to say stop. But they don't stop because nobody says stop. The leaders are like idiots. The mayors, they don't even care. They make stupid rules for the criminals. Like, dude, I heard it's so bad. Somebody was telling me it's so bad in Los Angeles that they actually have to bus government workers to there because they can't walk to their offices. So they got to get like a secret bus to the offices because it's so bad there. And then these stupid left-wing politicians, they still push this policy. Their policy's so bad that they can't even walk to their job because their city's such a shithole. And then they put policies to make it a bigger shithole. How do these people look themselves in the mirror? Like they can't even walk into their office because it's that bad. Gascon, absolutely. It's absolutely a large part his fault. Other people's, but mostly him for sure. He's responsible now and he's making it worse. It's insane. And then these people go into the office and keep acting like it's not happening. One of Mayor Eric Adams is like, AIDS got like jumped and he's like, I work with the mayor. The criminal doesn't give a crap. You think the criminal cares that you work with the mayor? This is how stupid Democrats have become. It's like, I'm all for helping the weak. I'm all for helping people in this country, regardless of where they came from. I'm all for it. But at the end of the day, there's some bad people out there. You know what I'm saying? And these cities are filled with crime and filth and disgusting, unlivable areas. Do you want to fix it for the good people there, or do you want to just let it go to shit? I'm not weak. I'm thoughtful. I'm compassionate. I'm kind. But I'm not an idiot, and I'm not weak. And it's not nice to be weak. It's not nice for the kids and the women in that neighborhood to let it go to shit. That's not nice. That's pathetic. That's what beta male, loser, weakling men, you know what I'm saying? That's what they do. You're not nice. Kids have to walk through this stuff. Little girls have to walk through this stuff. Women have to walk through this stuff. That's nice. Letting your neighborhood look like this. No, that's pathetic. And I live in California. Even in conservative areas, you can't get rid of the homeless because of the idiot Democrats in office, or maybe it's the Republicans just doing nothing. It's hard to really tell, but it's like the policy is like, oh, you can't even clean. Like, you have more rights as a crackhead than you do as a law-abiding citizen. If you're smoking crack, crapping on the street, you haven't showered in weeks, you smell like a rotting carcass, anybody within 10 feet of you is probably going to get sick because you're so disgustingly dirty. You're free to do that on public property because it's like, yeah, that's so great. But God forbid somebody comes along and tries to shower you or tell you to get the hell out of there because there's kids walking down that street. Oh, it's their fault. I mean, this is a pathetic society, okay? It's pathetic. You can't do anything about it. They can just sit there and crap on the street and do drugs and just be disgusting, but you can't tell them to leave or get their crap together. And that's why they do it, because there's no enforcement. It's disgusting. Someone said, stop talking about Kamala that way. Hey, zing, zing. It's pretty funny. Someone said you could literally shoot up heroin in front of the San Francisco Police Department. San Francisco's a nightmare. Los Angeles is a nightmare. Literally, it's like if you want to have a nightmare, just don't go to sleep. Just walk down those streets. I used to live in Hollywood. I've gone downtown. I've lived there. It's as bad as people think. It's not like, oh, it's pretty good. It's interesting. Life is interesting when you live out there because it's never a dull day. I didn't take it for granted. I enjoyed myself, but I don't miss it. Let's just put it that way. San Francisco, I'll just never go. Hey, Namu, you want to do a show in San Francisco? No. We'll pay you a couple grand. Ew. Just keep the money. I'd rather stay. But yeah, I mean, it's starting to leak into other places. And that's where I wonder what Republicans really have, because I think society is just growing and getting gross. And it's I mean, I love people, but I don't know what the plan for Republicans is. I don't know. Honestly, I know people hate Rudy Giuliani, or some people do. I don't know who he is as a politician, whatever. He did some weird things. I do think it seems like he was able to clean up Los Angeles by just being a hard ass. You know, sometimes you need a hard ass. I'm not saying I don't trust Rudy Giuliani as a politician now or anything, but I'm pretty sure as a mayor, he just kind of went hard in the paint, and like, sometimes that's what it takes. Like, you know, San Francisco needs a hard ass. Los Angeles needs a hard ass. They need like a David Goggins, not like a, you know, West Hollywood like drag queen. Like, you know, it's not going to fix the city. Sorry. Someone said the government wants people to be high and stoned. I just don't understand like how this even really benefits them though. Like, who wants to be the king of crap? You know, don't you want to be the king of like a beautiful area? Who wants to be the king of a dookie area? But this is the thing. They probably don't go to those areas. Like Gavin Newsom, he doesn't go to Los Angeles. It's like he lives in a wine country probably. You know what I'm saying? A place that's not affected because it's so rich and rural that I don't even think they know what San Francisco looks like. I have no idea. Paul Pelosi knows, unfortunately, because he lives in the middle of it, and he, you know, got attacked because he lives in what Paul Pelosi went through is what hundreds of people go through all the time. I'm not saying it's good, but that's San Francisco. Paul Pelosi lived in San Francisco. Look what happened. It's not just a story that happened to him. It happens to everyone there. Everyone has a story like that. Everyone has a story or knows somebody that their house got broken into, their car got broken into. Like, you're living in hell. I want no part in it. I'm trying to figure out locally how to get rid of homelessness, because it's like, it's even grown. Like, it's like, oh, we can't do anything. Oh, it's like, what are they going to do? Sue you? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Why do the homeless people have more rights than the citizen? I don't get it. Someone said that was fake, you fool. You could think what you want. I don't really care. It's not like my whole stream was about Paul Pelosi being real. It's real, folks. Calm down, bro. With that being said, I saw the 911 footage and I heard the call and I saw I think it's very plausible that it happened, but it was very odd. Parts of it were odd, but once the footage came out, honestly, it looked more real than I thought it was going to look. But if you want to think it's fake, I don't really care. It's not in the top 1,000 things that matter to me, and I don't care. It's like, chill out, dude. Mayor Giuliani absolutely did not tolerate homelessness and filth. He cleaned up New York City beautifully. It's not actually that hard to do. And I'm not one of these people that thinks everything's easy. Some things are hard to do. Cleaning up homelessness isn't hard. You just have to do it and enforce it and allow it. I could clean up my entire city in a month by myself if they allowed me to. But I'm not allowed to. The problem is they have too many I can't just crap on the street, so why can they? I don't understand. Why public streets are for walking. Public streets are for, driving. They're not for freaking crapping and tenting on. That's just not how it works. They're not for that. So why are they allowed to? Build the houses, build the mental facilities, build the drug facilities, have these options, have a job place. Here's your 4 options. Here. Your 4 options. Get the F off the street. You have a month. I'll give you a week, a month, 2 months. What do you need? A year? Whatever. How much time do you need? Get the hell out of here, okay? And if you're not out of here in a week or a month or a year, you're out, bro. You're going to jail. We're kicking you out of town. You're going somewhere because you're not staying here. It's over. It's over at that point. It's that easy. We have a house for you. Get in. Go there. We have a job for you. Work. We have drug help for you. Go get it. You're a mental case? Here's a mental institution. Go there. But guess what you're not doing? You're not sitting here anymore. You're not crapping here anymore. You're not shooting up heroin here anymore. And you're not parking a bunch of dirty tents here anymore. That's not happening. Here's your 4 options. We're being compassionate. We're being kind. We're being thoughtful. Go. We'll take you. And if you don't go, you're out. You're gone. Okay? It's that simple. It's gone. Oh, wow. Where did homelessness go? Most of it is that. They have houses that they don't want to go to. They have drug facilities that they don't want to go to. They have showers. They have soup. Everybody feeds them. They give them clothes. They have all those things. They use them. And then they go right back out on the street because they want to go there. They don't want to listen. Well, I'm sorry. What if I don't want to listen and I knock down 50 street poles? Do I get to not listen? Oh, I'm just going to ruin my neighborhood because I don't want to listen. They'll take my ass to jail. Why do these people get to do it? It's not kind and compassionate for them to just sit there rotting, destroying the neighborhood. It's disgusting. They have housing. They have all that stuff. The reason it grows is because it's not enforced. Gavin Newsom has spent billions of dollars and it doesn't get any better. Do you know why? It's not a money problem. You have houses. They have houses. They don't want to go there. And if you build houses in nice areas, homelessness gets worse. You don't build houses, build them in the shitty areas or wherever you want to go. Don't build them in the nice areas and then homelessness goes times through the roof. Why? We built houses. Because it's not a housing and a money problem. It's just not. They have places to go. There are places right now. There's no enforcement. That's the problem. Build the houses, build the drug facilities, build the mental facilities. You have to enforce it. If you don't enforce it and you say you're allowed to crap and destroy the streets and nobody's allowed to fix it, it's going to grow. It's that simple. There needs to be enforcement at the end of the compassion. Compassion with enforcement. If it's just compassion and building things, but there's no enforcement, it grows and grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. It could be taken out in a year and everybody could be somewhere. The problem is they don't want to move and they don't have to move. Imagine if somebody just laid on your floor, was shitting all over the place, and the government came in and said, well, you can't move them because they don't have anywhere to go. What do you mean? They're not supposed to be here. Well, you can't move them. Bro, there would be more and more people in your house, but guess what you have the right to do in your house? You can move them outside. This is my house. This is my street. You can't do that with public areas, in California at least. That's the issue. It's more that than it is other stuff. I'm going to roll out, folks. I stayed a little too long, but I wanted to cut it off before 2 hours. Unfortunately, I didn't make it because I was going to play my outro video, but oh well. Appreciate you guys. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. Yeah, I could talk about homelessness more, but I'm going to try to keep this pretty shorter than it was. I'm not going for 3 hours today, and I'm soon going to do videos that are way shorter. I can't be staying for 2 hours every time, but I enjoy talking. I enjoy having conversations about stuff. Let me know what you think. As far as the Donald Trump stuff, I'm just going to end on this note, just to be clear. I don't know what the charges are because they're not really saying. So without knowing what the charges are, I can't for certain say what's going on. But my gut tells me that it's an overreach of power and, Donald Trump shouldn't be, charged, and that it's just the Democrats being the Democrats. With that being said, I think it helps the Democrats. It gives them the picture they always wanted, the story they always wanted, and the indictment they always wanted. It helps left-wing media because they have nothing to talk about. Helps the Democrats fundraise, and it helps them show their base that they're going after the villain Trump or whatever. I think it also helps Trump. If he doesn't get arrested or go to jail and he just has to take a photo or whatever and he beats the court case, now he's overcome something else. He has another victim narrative to do, and he's already fundraising off it. He'll probably raise more money in the next 3 days than he did in the last 3 months. So, it helps him too. And it's another paradigm that doesn't get to Epstein or the banks or the lockdowns or the vaccines or anything that actually matters. It's another hero versus villain, left versus right, orange man bad versus orange man hero. In my opinion, false paradigm that's just going to run people in circles. And to the Tim Pools of the world yelling war, and the Donald Trumps of the world yelling take our country back and protest without warning his supporters to not fall for another setup like it happened in January. My question to Tim and Donald is respectfully, where do you want people to protest, and are you going to accurately tell people to watch out for Democrat traps because they're going to set traps? Is that going to be part of the equation, or are we just going to yell in all caps and yell war and get people hyped up for fundraising, and then people are trying to figure out what to do, but there's nothing to really do? So I'm just wondering, Tim, where's this war that you keep speaking of? Is it in your head? Is it in your diaper? Is it in your beanie? Is it real, or are you just skateboarding? And then Trump, when he says, what did he say? Take back our country, take our nation back, protest. Where do you want people to protest? Are you setting them up again like January 6th, or do you have a plan, or why are you not telling them to watch out for traps? Where are you going? What do you want people to do? Is this a fun, I don't know. I'm not interested, but everybody has the right to feel how they feel. All I'll say is, regardless of what you do, remember, peaceful protest is your First Amendment right. And I guess not during COVID, though. They take it away, the Democrats. But, in general, you have the right to peacefully protest. Just watch out, because just like they'll tell you as a kid, the world is not fair. And that was one of my favorite things from the James O'Keefe interview. He said that Breitbart told him, it's not fair. It's not fair that left-wingers can make 1,000 mistakes, and if you make 5 mistakes, you get persecuted, and they get to make mistakes. It's not fair. But the world's not fair, right? It's not fair that left-wingers can throw a fit and poop their pants for Brett Kavanaugh, and people don't get charged. And that the horned hat guy is sitting in jail for 4 years, and other people are similar because of what they did. It's not fair. I'm not saying it's fair, but life isn't fair. And if it isn't fair, you know going into it, it's not fair. So think about that when you're at the Capitol or near the Capitol or wherever you are protesting or whatever happens. Remember, it's not fair. Don't get caught in a trap and then be like, well, this isn't fair. You know going into it, it's not fair. Life is not fair. I agree it shouldn't be that way. I would have your back in court if they're lying about you, and I would fight for your right to get out of jail if they falsely imprisoned you. I'm all for that, but life isn't fair. So you got to know going into that, right? Just be smart. That's all I'm saying. Because as a left-wing rapper that's backed by a major label, they get to do whatever they want and, dress up in rainbow flags and, they're on television. It's and with me, maybe I have more followers, more views, more listens. But I don't get the opportunities they get or something. But it's not fair, right? It's not fair that I don't get but life is not fair. I'm not complaining about it. I'm not shocked by it when something's not fair. That's just how it is. If you choose this path, if you're not a puppet and you're not a pawn and you're not just like a left-wing drone, right? And you're not a follower and you're not going with the system just to be left alone, and you choose this path of I'm not left-wing or I'm not a mainstream media dummy or I'm not a Jimmy Kimmel watcher. You choose this life, there's pros and cons to both sides. You understand that the pros are you're not a sheep, you're not a pawn, you're not an idiot, right? You get to know that what you're doing makes sense and you're telling the truth to yourself or you're being more honest to yourself. And the pros outweigh the cons because at the end of the day, the truth ages like fine wine and the lies fall apart. So why would you lie to yourself? I don't understand it. Yeah, you might get a job with a, non-binary badge or something, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's where are you going? So there's pros to taking whatever path you're taking, but yeah, things are not going to be fair, right? There's going to be opportunities I'm not allowed to get. There's going to be social media persecution. There's going to be, in some cases, loss of money, in some cases, gain, depending how you spin it. But I'm just saying, know that going in. So in my view, even though I'll have Donald Trump's back when they're wronging him, I wish as a leader, he was a little more thoughtful. If you're going to say, take our nation back and protest, tell where do you want them to protest? You're the lead. Where are they going to protest? And please warn them that life isn't fair and the legal system isn't fair and the feds probably don't like Trump supporters more than they don't like left-wingers to some extent. So tell your supporters that and let them know not to walk into traps. You get what I'm saying? I think that would be wise to try to, if you're going to shake people up like ants in a jar, it would be wise to kind of give them some good advice versus just meet me here or, take our nation back. Because I'm not trying to be rude, but the lowest common denominator or most ramped up people are going to see this and freak out. Some are already doing, not a lot, but some. And it's be a real leader. Let them know, if you go here, there's going to be cameras and Vice is going to be there and they're going to be baiting you. Don't take the bait. Don't take the left-wing bait. You have a right to protest. You have a right to speak. You have a right to organize, and I'm all for it as long as it's legal and also righteous. But just keep an eye out. That's all I can say. If you're at an event, keep an eye out. You know what I'm saying? Because stupid crap happens sometimes. So you want to be on the lookout because, in my opinion, Democrats love when Republicans mess up at a live event. That's their favorite thing. If they have a Charlottesville or January 6th, they like that. They'll say, oh my gosh, it's the worst thing ever. you secretly want Republicans to do that because it gives you this narrative. Oh, it's them versus them. He said there's good people on both sides. The Democrats will milk these events for years, and they will get more out of these events than Republicans ever will. So I'm not trying to tell people not to protest. I'm not trying to tell people what to do or what to stand for. Stand for what you believe is right and be a righteous person. But I'm just saying, keep your eye out, right? I don't want to be another person just shaking people up and freaking people out with no direction. I'm just saying, whatever you do, keep an eye out and just try to be thoughtful in your moves, because, you know, the media, the left, the legal system, it's far from perfect. And there's a lot of people, in my view, that want you to do something or mess up in order to kind of exploit it. But, you know, everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a perspective. That's mine. Someone said I need to shave at some point, for sure. Yeah. I'm so busy, but honestly, I'm going to head out in a second. It's like I do so much stuff. I'm closing business deals. I have a new product I'm trying to sell. I did that interview with James. He's like, 2 minutes, get here. I'm just running in circles. So, you know, sometimes I could shave, I could let it grow out, but it's like I'm just working around the clock all the time. So it's like real entrepreneur stuff. You know, sometimes with James, I just had to like throw on a shirt real quick because he's like, yo, 2 minutes. Can you do the interview? I was like, 2 minutes? Yeah, I can. But how, you know, it's like, am I thinking about shaving and wearing a suit? You get what you get with my show. Dream Rare Podcast. Appreciate you guys. Bone broth. I'm not selling bone broth, but I do like bone broth. Like, bone broth is healthy and tasty, but you know, Alex really made that big, and now it's getting popular in like the health stores. It's pretty interesting. All right. Appreciate you guys. God bless. Have a good one. And I'll be back soon. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you disagree, I don't care. It's all good. Just think. I don't care what you think, but just think. Hey, what's going on, my friends? Just a few ways to stay in touch and support if you'd like to. The first way is dreamrare.com. We have blue beanies, black beanies, pink hats, other colored hats, freedom versus tyranny shirts, stay blessed long sleeve, God is great long sleeve, and lots of more cool items coming soon. Dreamrare.com. Check out the shop to support. Everything's made in the United States. Handpicked by me. Patreon.com/raretalk. For $5 a month, you can help support me, support the show. If you haven't noticed, unlike other channels, I don't work with very many sponsors, sometimes none at all. And part of the way I'm able to do that is with the dreamrare.com shop and patreon.com/raretalk. So thank you guys for keeping this show free, unimpeded, uninterrupted. I'm forever grateful. My free email list is stayintouchwithme.com. So check the links below in the description, or just type in on any browser, stayintouchwithme.com, all one word. You'll find my email list, put it in there, and it's the least annoying email list you'll ever be on. I barely use it because I don't like getting emailed every day or every week. It's annoying. So I don't do it. Stayintouchwithme.com. It helps me take back some power away from big tech. Telegram, t.me/dreamrarechat or @dreamrarechat. Due to censorship, I post all my live stream and videos there. Sometimes I have some bonus content, and I try to give people a heads up when Facebook or YouTube won't. Dream Rare Chat at Telegram. My Instagram is @dreamrare. Thanks for everybody following there for shorter content. And dreamrarelinks.com, that's dreamrarelinks.com, has all my stuff. My podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, my music on Spotify and Apple, my Rumble page, my BitChute and Gab page. All my links are found at dreamrarelinks.com. Thanks for watching, folks. God bless you. You already know I'll be back with more content soon.